I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTuber's business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him for managing the team.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.
I started a football team.
Hello and welcome back to FanPark Live. Fulham host Manchester United in the English Premier League. 12:30 kickoff. The 11th game under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the manager of the month for January 2019. Things have certainly turned round at Old Trafford and for the Red Devils. This will be a solid test today, though. Away games are hard to win. If United do pick up the victory today, that will be the most consecutive games won on the bounce in the Premier League by Manchester United in a decade, which is a colossal amount of time. Equally, we've seen players resurgent. They've grown from the ashes of the Jose Mourinho era. Rashford also picking up the player of the month. First time in 8 years that a Man United manager and player have won that award in the same month. All that way back was 2017, same month actually of January, when Dimitar Berbatov and Sir Alex Ferguson picked up that award. Now, we want to hear from you guys in the build-up to this game. The number is going to be open on 0203 606 0315. We're here for the entirety of the build-up, the game, and of course, goal review and the aftermath. We want to hear from you. Do us a massive favour. Smash that like button. Hit the share button as well. We want to see we want to get as many people tuned in today as possible. I am, of course, joined by some esteemed guests. We've got my man Chris, who's a Man United fan, and of course, one of our resident gooners in the house today in Devo. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, esteemed. I like that.
Esteemed, yeah. I thought I'd be nice. I thought I'd be nice.
That's a great intro. I love that.
Rather than hired help or minions or subordinates. UFF subordinates we have in the I say esteemed. I say esteemed, absolutely. In terms of this game today, United are playing first. Opportunity to jump into the top four. Chelsea, of course, going away at the Etihad against Manchester City tomorrow. When we look at this Man United game, first of all, I'll go to the neutral here, Devo. What do you see happening in this game? Is it going to be a close affair? Are United going to be beaten? Or do you just think there's too much quality, Fulham struggle, leak too many goals? What's your view?
Firstly, I wouldn't say I'm a neutral. I'm a Fulham fan for today. Sorry, guys. If we have if we have any chance of finishing in the top four, then we need you guys to drop points. So, from that point of view, I'm looking for Fulham to get something out of this game. But realistically, Fulham are a lot better at home than they are away from home. Yeah. A lot depends on Mitrovic. That's the only problem that Fulham have. If Mitrovic doesn't turn up, they've got no goal threat, and they're going to need to score goals because they can't keep clean sheets. Yeah. So I think realistically, Man United should win this. I think it'll be a tough game. As I said, Mitrovic up against Lindelof. I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be a proper battle. But I think Man United going the other way will have a bit too much for Fulham.
I don't think Lindelof's here.
Is he not playing?
He didn't travel with the squad yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Rested.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
It appears he's rested, although he was moving house as well the last few days from the hotel back into his home. So maybe he just had permission. Sorry,
he's in the know, man. He's that guy in the know.
Yeah, he was moving home, so it's one of them things. But we'll see what happens in regards to that. I'd be gutted if he wasn't. If we're going to rest anybody for a game like today, you would think maybe Pogba, maybe Rashford for the game against
my dream team, but
for Paris Saint-Germain. Equally though, I sort of look at it like, in my opinion, I think Man United have a much better chance of making the top four than we do winning the Champions League. Oh, yeah. Not that I would rest our star players for a Champions League game. However, securing top four is important. I think that if United win today, I don't see Chelsea going away and getting a result in terms of a victory at the Etihad. It puts Man United back in the top four, which 6 to 7 weeks ago, I'll ask you this, Chris, that was impossible. There was no way Man United were going to be in the top 4 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was just looking highly unlikely, and it's like it's been amazing. It's such an amazing turnaround of events to see us go on this nice unbeaten streak, only dropping points at home to Burnley, but seeing us having a chance to get into the top 4, I never ever thought that I'd actually see that. And I gotta say, Arsenal and Chelsea, they've got to look at themselves and think, how have you let a team that was 11 points or so adrift catch you and overtake you?
More so Chelsea. I mean, we knew we weren't ever that good. We've not been good all season. We went on this really lucky run, and then the luck ran out. So.
I've been hearing Gooners going on about this unbeaten run, going on and trying to banter us, trying to call us the banter club. We were the banter club. We were. We'll take that. We were the banter club, but we're not anymore.
You know what? One thing you can have for certain is that Arsenal will always be the banter club. 100%. We're going to be top of one league at the end of the season. It's gonna be that.
Especially when you see, right? Especially,
you know what I mean?
Especially when you see the news reports come out and state that there's only going to be £45 million for you guys to spend in the summer. Now,
as if that's something.
10 years ago, that would have been considered a small amount of money.
Yeah.
10 years ago, that, you know, in 08, 09, 2010, if £45 million wasn't enough to improve your squad, I just think Arsenal fans have got to realise that your club has no intention anymore of winning Premier League titles. We know football has changed. It has become partly more to do with money, and of course Chelsea and City fans know this more than anybody else. Man United took a stance, and now so have Liverpool, to increase revenues to spend that on players. Man United have actually wasted a lot of it. The amount of money we've spent since Fergie left, although everyone goes, you spent 500, 600, 700 million.
It's got to be spent in the right places.
Of course it has been, and I know we've spent it, but we haven't invested in the. Do you know what we've done? It's when you have 3 managers with 3 different styles, buying players to suit themselves, rather than saying, right, Man United have a philosophy, and we're going to buy players to fit that philosophy only. Then you don't waste as much money. But yeah, it must feel like, if I'm a Chelsea fan or I'm an Arsenal fan right now, there is a sense of you're just praying for Fulham to get a result and for United's bounce to sort of temper itself and fall away, because to be that many points behind, I mean, it's almost as big a collapse as Liverpool at the top of the league.
Oh, I'm waiting for that capitulation to happen. Well, I'm waiting for that to happen.
Mate, I've already got T-shirts made.
Oh, wicked.
Have you seen them? They say Liverpool across the front. The I of Liverpool is a big green bottle, and then underneath it says next year
wicked.
FC.
I want that. I want a T-shirt. I want a T-shirt.
Those T-shirts. I think those T-shirts are going to go well. We've got a super chat here actually from Mr. Dead Inside but Still Horny.
Okay.
That's actually one of the best YouTube one of the best YouTube names ever.
Wow.
He says, man like Terry, thank you. He says, big Liverpool fan here, but I enjoy your content. Best of luck for the top 4 this year, but stay clear of the title race next year. You'll never walk alone. And I appreciate that, because again, that's the one thing I love about the Ultimate Football Fan, and of course my own channel, the Football Terrace, is that we have fans from all walks of life that are here and are getting involved. And yeah, thank you very much, and I appreciate your kind comments. But we are coming for you next year.
Wow, that is a nice Liverpool fan.
I know.
Wow.
I don't know if
there's a few.
Not many.
Around.
Not many.
No,
I don't know if he'll be that happy next weekend when Man United end their title race.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get into the Liverpool title race thing, because we've seen the effects it's had on Saturday.
Yeah, I have to just say, I need the cameras to focus on my face for a minute, please. Abs. And he says, Drifty, we love you. We're all here for you. And listen, it's a tough world for men nowadays. We're told to not show our emotions. We are told that if we get angry, we're toxic. If we show emotion, we're weak. And we know what pressure does to men. It can affect our performances at home, if you know what I'm saying. It can affect our friendships. I'm here for you. Intervention is on its way. Whether it's snowing, whether it's raining, whether the grass is too long, Drifty, we are here for you. We love you. It's all going to be okay, brother. Just have to put that out to Drifty. I need Drifty to know he's okay.
Taking the piss.
Because Drifty's appeared a little bit lost of late. A little bit lost. I mean, I know there's some stuff coming out for you guys on your Patreon, so we won't talk about any of that. That's for you guys to do your thing with. But did I hear it right in a clip that he said that Torreira is better than Paul Pogba.
I heard that.
Yeah,
oh my God, I heard
let
that.
let me just clear it up, because when
Explain.
you say it like that, it sounds absolutely crazy.
Tell us more.
But
Explain.
In fairness to him, when he tried to explain what he meant, it still sounded crazy, but it made a little bit more sense. So the question that was posed to him was, name a central midfielder in the Premier League better than Paul Pogba that isn't Kevin De Bruyne or David Silva.
Okay.
He said Fernandinho, firstly, and then he said, based on this season alone, he said Torreira's been just as good as Pogba, which is still crazy. Because, yeah, all right, Pogba's had this run of games since Solskjaer's come in where he's been brilliant. Before that, it was bits and pieces. So I understand what he was trying to say. But Torreira hasn't been as good as some people believe he has been. He had a run of games, again, much like Pogba, about 7-8 games. He didn't start the first 3 or 4 games. He was rested for a couple. So it's probably he's played, and he hasn't been as effective as Pogba has been in that space of time.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a bit out there. But he didn't necessarily mean Torreira is an overall better player than Pogba.
Do you know what I find not disrespectful for Pogba? Like, I think Pogba's going to start to get, from some fans, the same treatment that these same people give to Cristiano Ronaldo. Because he played for Manchester United, there will always be this this playing down what he's done and what he's achieved. And there's no doubt that Pogba's form under Jose Mourinho's Man United this season was up and down. There was a few good moments, but there was a lot of poor displays. But it's like, if you look at the Liverpool team as an example for Drifty under Roy Hodgson, there were some very good Liverpool players. I mean, some legends in that Liverpool team. But how far down the league were they, and how poor were they under that manager's systems? And yes, I think players do hold a certain level of responsibility when it comes to the effort they put in, the passion that they give for that club's badge, and the determination they put in each game. But equally, when the tactics are poor, when training's bad, when you sign poor quality of players, when there are loads of problems at a football club, that impacts the way the entire team plays. And I think Pogba was being held back through that. And I think that people are very disingenuous about how good Paul Pogba is, and they comparing him to Kante and to Fernandinho. It's so wrong, because although you can say which one you prefer, and you can say, oh, Kante's a better holding midfielder than Pogba is creative midfielder. If that's your opinion, great. But you can't compare them like for like in terms of doing the same job and role. Like, I think you can compare all forwards. Whether you play on the left, the right, or the centre, you can compare them in terms of, at your job, who produces the most, who's the most efficient, who's the most consistent. You know, Eden Hazard's job is very different from Lionel Messi's in a football team, and his is very different from Lewandowski's. They play different styles, they have a different approach, but you can say which one is better. That's not a problem. But when you say like Fernandinho is a better holding midfield player than Pogba is an attacking midfield player, you have to explain that. Because if you look at Pogba now in a team that's playing open and creative football, he's now back to doing what he was doing at Juve, back to doing what he did so brilliantly at the World Cup for France. Now, he's done it for 2 months, 7 weeks. He needs to now make this 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and it needs to become consistent. But to not recognise, and I'm not saying Drifty's done this, but I know there are people out there that don't, to not recognise the qualities of Paul Pogba, to see his brilliance, I think it's just pure disingenuous hate. In terms of you ignoring all the great things that he does. And again, if and I was talking to Rance about this the other day, he isn't the kind of midfielder that dictates play and dominates a midfield in terms of orchestrating. He's not a Paul Scholes. He is not that type of individual. That, you know, what Paul Scholes did at Man United and what Michael Carrick did, that's not Pogba. Pogba's very much, you put that behind him and you let him go off and do his thing further up the field. In between central midfield and that number 10 position, I sort of put him in as an example. And that's where you get the best out of him. And then I sometimes feel like people get confused that football's like a team sport. And we'll put this out there to like have hope in those guys and the Hazard fanboys, because they all say that the reason he doesn't produce more is because he had rubbish attackers around him. Well, then you have to afford Pogba the same thing, where you need to have the right team around him for him to be at his best. But then you get told, well, you shouldn't have to build a team for Pogba. But then people defend Hazard with that very same excuse, or, you know, oh, yeah, the only reason that Harry Kane is so good is because the team and the system is built to make him look that good. That's what team sports are about. Is you build it around a player or two, and you complement them, because that's going to yield us the results that we need. I just find it crazy.
The greatest club player we've ever seen is Lionel Messi. And Barcelona's systems have been created around him for years.
Yep.
So what you're saying is spot on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's team sport.
It is.
If you have a player who's obviously very talented, you're more likely to build a team around that person.
Yeah.
Well, it's why Real Madrid have gone backwards this year, because they built their team for almost a decade around Ronaldo, and whether it was him, yes, always a good a top-level goal scorer, but whether he was playing on the left or the right, or more laterally in the striker sort of position, it was geared around this. The end result is to get the ball to Ronaldo so he can put it away. Whether it's a shot from range, whether it's a tap-in or one-on-one, that's the kind of process. They're still playing like that, Real Madrid. They just don't have anybody as prolific and as great when they get in those positions, so you miss opportunities. And it's as simple and straight, which is why they're still a good team, but they've dropped the standard. And look, the same is going to happen to Barca. When Messi goes, it doesn't matter who, they could literally, Messi could leave tomorrow, and they could have the best three talent. They could get Hazard in, Mbappe in, and well, they've already got Dembele. They could have those three guys in that team. They're not Messi's a once, not in generation. He's almost a once in a lifetime player. You will not see another Messi and Ronaldo in terms of not just their qualities but their outputs. I don't think you'll see players again like that for at least 50 plus years. It will be that long between those guys, and
especially at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, of course.
You had you had Pele, then you had Maradona.
Yeah.
And then you could put Zidane was next or whoever, but you never had two at that level. At the exact same time. I don't think we'll ever see that again.
No. You see, going back to the Pogba thing, what that reminds me of, it reminds you of Ozil or Arsenal. You see how other fans, maybe some Arsenal fans, but fans of other clubs would criticise Ozil, say, oh, why isn't Ozil grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck? Why isn't Ozil doing this? Why isn't Ozil doing that? And it's a similar thing with Pogba now, in that you're expecting these players to play, like you said, like your Scholes, like your Carricks, like your Gerrards, that would try and dictate that would try and dictate play, but they're not that kind of player. But they have their unique, special talents in themselves. So it's not a case of just building a team around them. It's a case of building a team that enables them to showcase their talents, which is what Pogba's doing.
Absolutely. Just getting the team news is already out, and they're putting the teams up now on the screen. We'll go through the Fulham side first of all. It looks like they're playing a 4-4-2. Ryan Babel back in the Premier League. There it is. But Man United is just coming out now. With David De Gea in goal, which I think we all knew and expected. We've then got Dalot. Wow. Dalot, Jones, Smalling, Shaw at the back. Phil Jones with his new contract. Matic and Herrera as the holding two midfield players. And then Pogba, Mata, Martial.
Okay.
And I assume it's going to be Lukaku starting, no Rashford. Rashford's on the bench today.
Oh, he's really going for this championship.
Killed my fantasy team, man.
Yeah,
he's killed my fantasy team.
Rashford's my captain.
Wow.
I got Pogba's my captain.
Is their fantasy team, their fantasy team. But do you know what's interesting? There will still be hate on social media for that starting lineup, right? But you can't praise a man for 10 games, say how great he's been, breath of fresh air, United way, he understands X, Y, and Z. But Phil Jones gets a new deal, Lindelof's rested, Rashford's on the bench, and you'll still get this reactionary, almost what I think is fake outrage from people. A lot of the time it's to chase likes, it's to chase views, it's to get people to say, oh, he's going, but I look at it this way, we have to start rotating now. And there has to be an element of rotation. There's two games per week for the next 5 to 6 weeks, and the majority of those games for Manchester United are against elite teams. In that period, we've got 2 games against PSG. There's Chelsea, Liverpool, another Arsenal game's coming up in March. That's a really tough run of games, and
define our season. And
do you know what's interesting as well? I would prefer, well, not prefer. I think we've got more chance of finishing top 4 than we do winning the Champions League. But everyone talks about and has a go at Jose when we get knocked out the Champions League, when he plays it down like it's a normal thing. You then can't have a go at Ollie for doing what Fergie did year in, year out, where he'd rotate the teams to ensure that he was as fresh as possible for every competition, because he'd chase to try and win every competition. So we can't say, let's be United. And this is the problem when people throw out the United way tag, is they only like throwing it out when it suits their own narrative that, oh, this manager's got to be sacked because he doesn't play their way. This player's got to be sold because he isn't good enough on the ball, and that's our way. But equally, we try and win every competition that we're in. It means, and we did it for 20 years with Fergie, where we rotated squads. So when we rotate the squad, understand that's also part of the United way.
I mean, if you're going to rotate your team against anyone, the team that's bottom of the league, or in
Yeah.
in the bottom
Yeah.
three,
Yeah.
is probably going to be your best bet. I mean, Fulham have really struggled. I think looking at this, Lukaku is probably licking his lips, and if you've got a confident, say Lukaku bangs 2 goals today, what that's going to do for the rest of the season for his confidence, knowing that you have that coming off the bench, or certain games you can put Lukaku in and he's on good form, he's confident. That could be massive for your season.
Well, the thing is, everyone knows how I feel about Lukaku, but looking at the team, that team that Ollie's put out is good enough to beat Fulham. So I'm expecting big things from Martial, and obviously from Pogba as well. It's just going to be interesting to see how we play, because obviously you've got Mata that's playing on the other side, so he's obviously going to cut inside. So it's going to be a lot on Dalot to keep that width and hold that width. But with that team, yeah, you got Smalling and Jones against Mitrovic. That's going to be an interesting battle. That's going to be very interesting. I think Jones, obviously, buoyed by his new contract. Usually when a player gets a new contract, signs a new deal, they usually have a good game the next game. So I'm hoping, and I might be reaching, but I'm hoping that continues. But with that team, yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it, because obviously we've got PSG coming up, so we need to rest players. So you need to
Tuesday,
rotate,
right?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
It's like there's 3 days in between.
That's what I'm saying.
You
So,
do need to rotate, because otherwise, what will happen by the end of March is you'll get someone like Rashford and he'll be exhausted, and then he'll have a dip, and it's
Burn out, yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised Sanchez isn't playing. Is Sanchez on the bench?
He's on the bench.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he's not starting this
I
game,
reckon
actually.
he'll come. I reckon he will come on. I reckon he'll come on eventually. I'm hoping that if he does come on, he comes on for Lukaku. And he actually plays up front.
I think Sanchez is going to start against Paris Saint-Germain.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm not saying
I wouldn't
but...
start. I don't think so. I think he'll go with. I think he'll go with Martial. I think because Martial was coming back from injury, so I think that's why he's playing in this game.
Yeah, I hope so.
Maybe
I want
60
to
minutes
Martial.
today.
Yeah,
something
because
like
I'm hoping that we start the game off fast. I'm hoping that we get a couple of goals, and then we can start to bring off players. So bring off Pogba, bring off Martial.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but I just get not concerned, but the way I feel like some fans nowadays react to managers' decisions. So you see, Ollie supporting players that were despised by a large body of Manchester United fans, and I just hope we get to, and I get you don't have to agree with everything that Ollie does, but it's more just the nasty reaction from people. I want to see Phil Jones move on as an example, but if the manager backs him, I'm going to support that decision to an extent, in terms of I'm not going to wait for and what's going to happen with Phil Jones and same with Young, they move, he'll become the new Fellaini in terms of everything that isn't perfect will be overly scrutinised and whatnot. And then if it does start to go a little bit wrong for Ollie, they will use those things to help try and now hammer nails into the coffin. And I just feel like things are too reactionary in that regard. We need to start trusting what managers are saying. And during some of our greatest seasons as a football club ever, and I go back to '99, which involves Ollie, there were many times where people like David May started games like this.
Oh yeah,
David May,
John O'Shea.
United's fixtures are up on the screen here. Fulham,
Palace away,
Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, Liverpool back-to-back. And then you got Palace away,
it's always a tough
Southampton at home. And then look at these 3 games on the bounce in the beginning of March. Paris Saint-Germain away, Arsenal away, Man City at home.
That defines our season.
I wouldn't be too worried about the Arsenal away.
But that's 6 weeks of football.
Yeah.
That's 6 weeks of football. Was that 10 games or something? And the majority are against the elite, the creme de la creme. The teams you don't want to be getting beat by in the Premier League. And that
6 pointers.
Yeah, huge, especially in the top 4 race. Like, if we could, look, the FA Cup's a great example. You knock Chelsea out, it's going to be very hard. You knock Chelsea out, there's only Man City left in that competition that put any fear into you.
Yeah.
And it's like, we knock out, if we can knock out Arsenal and Chelsea, Spurs are gone, Liverpool are gone, there's a great opportunity to go on and win a trophy. A huge opportunity to go on and win a trophy. The Champions League, look, if we get past Paris Saint-Germain, if we do, there's also a lot of other big teams that are going to get knocked out as well this round, because loads of big teams, like Bayern are playing Liverpool as an example. So every round, big teams are going out. Who's to say that, beating Chelsea away in the FA Cup and beating Paris Saint-Germain, if won't just give this squad that belief that oh wow, we really can do it. The only way that's going to be plausible is to have fresh legs and to have a squad that's rotated, and that's what Ollie's doing. Fergie did it for many years, and I think we just need to understand that that's part and parcel of modern day football. And maybe we're now seeing with the likes of Liverpool burnout because they've kept too many of the same stars in their team throughout the course of the season. And now that's why they dropped the FA Cup and League Cup so early. Because they couldn't rotate.
They haven't got the squad. I think Liverpool, that's always been their weak point for the last couple of years. The first team is great. The squad really lets them down. When you lose, if they lost 2 of their front 3,
finished.
But United, you take Rashford out, you bring in Lukaku, you take Sanchez out, you bring in Martial, you got Lingard on the bench, so you've got options. I think that's where the difference is. I mean,
and equally, a lot of these players need to be given the opportunity under Ollie to stake a claim and fight for their careers. And I've said this about Unai Emery. I think a lot of players that haven't produced this year will go, that were from Wenger's era. But I think Unai Emery did the right thing in giving them an opportunity to prove that they could be. Granit Xhaka is a great example. Show me that you can do it in a new system. For me, he hasn't. So it's okay. You've had an opportunity. We're now probably going to move you on.
He's not going anywhere.
Do you not reckon?
Xhaka's not going anywhere. I think the only one who's going to get moved on is Mustafi.
Or maybe Mustafi's. I think Xhaka should be one.
Yeah.
But I think that Ollie's doing the right thing again. Okay, Mata, we'll give you another opportunity. Lukaku, he's been given chances. If it gets to the end of the year and Ollie says, look, he just isn't right for it, United can walk away knowing that we've given these individuals opportunities, and you can't ever. There can be no coulda, shoulda, would. If buts and maybes, woulda, coulda, shouldas. It's you were given a chance, you didn't adapt, you haven't grabbed the ball by the horns and taken this opportunity well. If you look at Matic, Pogba, and Herrera, they've all grabbed Ollie's reign they've grabbed the ball by the horns and they've improved themselves. Fred's been given a few games, hasn't done anything. Pereira's been given a few little opportunities, hasn't even looked close to the level that you'd want them to be. And they will get more opportunities. McTominay's played a bit, he's on the bench again today. That rotation's there to say, okay, guys, some of you were defended by fans because Jose supposedly didn't like you. Others were chastised by fans because they felt Jose gave you too many opportunities. I'm going to give you an equal amount between now and the end of the season. Go out there and prove you're good enough for Man United. And I actually think Ollie's more ruthless than he lets on. He just doesn't talk about it in public.
Just the way it should be.
Yeah, he will move, exactly, and he will move these people on. And whatever Man United achieve this season, it's a bonus from where we were. And I think people have got to understand that some of these new deals and some of these players that are getting opportunities in games is part and parcel of it's being very pragmatic. Let's see who's good enough, and then we get it's rather than a new manager coming in or Ollie gets a job permanently in the summer. In the summer, all you get to do is see training and pre-season games, which are just basically friendlies. You can't assess who's good enough and isn't. This is the time where you give people an opportunity. Stand up, be counted. If you're not good enough, you're gone at the end of the season, and we will move on to pastures new. Another super chat's come through. It's a real good question, this one. I really want to put this one out there. And it says, to everyone in this room, and that's this room here, thoughts on Jamie Carragher's comments about Manchester United having a better overall squad than Liverpool?
I agree with that.
Talk sense for a change.
I agree with that.
No, he does talk sense.
If you're talking about a squad of 16 or 23, 25 players, whatever it is, I think Man United have got a deeper squad than what Liverpool have. Liverpool get by with 14 players, maybe. If you look at the amount of players that they use, you really use, I mean, you wouldn't touch the front three. You wouldn't touch that. If they come out, as we just said, they're struggling. Sturridge isn't the same. Origi isn't good enough. Shaqiri's a quality player. But then if you look at the midfield, they've got Wijnaldum's had a really good season. Henderson is, he's not a great player. He does his job. But he's not a great player. Milner's in there having a great season as well. But then if you look at Man United's midfield options, Pogba, Herrera, Matic, it's a step up in terms of quality.
I get that. Well, let's put this out there. If you look at the main midfield five of Liverpool, you would say it's Henderson, Milner, Gini,
Fabinho
and Keita. And then you compare that to Man United's main five, which is Pogba, Matic, Herrera, Fred, and Andreas Pereira, or McTominay.
So I mean, Liverpool's
on paper sounds better.
It's better.
If you then look defensively, goalkeeper, we know Man United win. I think I would say that it's only marginal, but I think David De Gea is better in goal, no doubt. If you then look at defensive though, Liverpool, you'd say all fit as well. Alexander Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson.
Yep.
How many of them get into this Man United defence?
Probably say 2.
All of them.
I'd
say all of them.
I'd say Van Dijk would definitely. Robertson would definitely. Yeah, Trent would.
And Gomez and Lindelof. I think Lindelof in the last few months. I think Lindelof would get in over Gomez. But that's the first team. You then dig a little bit deeper. You've got Matip.
This is where it comes into it.
Yeah, you've got Matip, and I would say that United's strength is marginally better in depth in defence than Liverpool's, and I would agree with that. But midfield, I would say that Liverpool should be better. And as an attacking lot, okay, so you've got Mo Salah. Who you got? So you got
Mane, Salah.
And you also remember one thing quickly as well. Liverpool allowed Klein to leave on loan, which is crazy.
We spoke about that on Home Meets Banter. I think it was Klopp being too nice.
Yeah.
In a way, because Klein. Remember when he got injured, he was number one.
He was
right
number
back.
one.
He was England's first choice right back for a little while, and then he got injured and obviously lost his place. He was fit for quite a while before, and he didn't really get any games. I think he played 2 games before January. Yeah. And then it's probably Klein came to us and said, look, boss, I need to play. And Klopp said, look, I'm not going to stand in your way, off you go. But he probably could have done with putting his foot down and saying, look, I can't let you go. We're in a title race. You have to stay.
I get that. You've also got, again, we won't mention Oxlade because he's out injured, even though he's there. But Liverpool have also got Lallana in midfield as well.
Yeah.
We look at their attacking lineup. So you mentioned Shaqiri, he's been brilliant. Mo Salah, one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
You've got Firmino that they all love and they rate. You've got Mane, who I think is one of the best Premier League players. I love Sadio Mane. I've always rated him. I wanted him at United, so I'm not going to change my mind there. You then have Daniel Sturridge, and they let Solanke go. So they had like 6 players there as their attacking options. They've got Divock Origi as well, who's an international player. You compare those 6, 7 players to Man United's, okay, Martial, Rashford, they're on fire. Jesse Lingard, pretty close and behind them, behind that. So you've got those 3. Outside of that, Lukaku, Mata for me has been really, I think he's in the decline. He's a good player, but he's on the decline. But Mata's good, but you've got Mata and you've got Sanchez who's been awful, and you've got Lukaku that nobody wants. So when you look at our 5 or 6 and you compare it to their 5 or 6, again, I can't. For me, what I'm seeing with Carragher and what I'm seeing from Liverpool fans is so many excuses the seed has been planted in the last 4 or 5 weeks, whether it's the grass being too long on pitches, the snow, refereeing decisions, the FA, Man City being the greatest footballing side in the history of all football ever, even Man United now having better squads, having more strength in depth, and we've just gone through it very basically and simplistically there. But I look at all of these things as stemming from one place. Let us get our excuses in now for 2 reasons. One, if and when we bottle the league, we can say, oh, we told you all these things were against us and we're not quite ready yet. And if they win the league, Liverpool fans still want to throw out this underdog narrative. You're absolutely right. They want to say, look what we came up against. Look at the fight. Look at our struggle. Look where we came from. When you've outspent the majority of teams in Europe. You have a squad, and again, you've spent loads of money, but equally, like I always talk about, you have a squad that is worth, in my opinion, between 800 million to £1 billion. Now, it's not what you spent on them, but it's how much they're worth. How much would you sell your front 3 for?
Yeah.
How much would you sell your midfield? Add up how much you would sell your players for. That's your own valuation. Yeah, you've got a defender you bought for 75 million that you'd sell for no less than 120 million plus now. Mo Salah, how much are you selling him for?
100 million plus.
You've got 200 plus million just on those 2 individuals. So your squad is worth £9 billion. You've spent huge. You've got brilliant players. In my opinion, your squad, whether you think they're actually better or in better form is a different debate, but is on par with Man United's, like Jamie Carragher's saying. I would agree that Man City are a better team than you, but this notion that they're the greatest Premier League side ever is already been knocked on the head by the fact that they're not running away with this league title. You've got to remember that the team that I think is the best ever was the '99 Man United team. One, they won the treble, and two, the 2 years after the treble, they won the Premier League at an absolute canter and with ease, and City ain't doing that. And then all the other excuses, you know, we don't get decisions and we don't get this and snow.
That one, I'm never going to be on board with that one. Because some of those penalties Salah was getting, you can't really say anything about FA decisions.
Well, the goal they scored against West Ham was so far offside. And if Divock Origi could have had a better touch, They would have beaten West Ham, and both goals would have been offside.
Yeah.
There is no.
It goes swings and roundabouts. No one gets 100% of all decisions. It's just not. I mean, not since Fergie left United anyway.
Nah,
that old chestnut. But the thing is,
all teams do. Like people say that, but you know, Man United. Man United missed out on like 2 good Champions League runs, and one of the most sort of the one that stands out and is the most of paramount annoyance to me is when Porto went on to win the league and they knocked us out. I mean, we scored a goal. Paul Scholes put a goal in the back of the net in that game that was bona fide and genuine. I think it was given us offside.
That wasn't the FA though.
Okay, but look, the FA do not sit in a room and say, let's give all the decisions to this club and let's tarnish these guys. We've got an agenda. We don't want Liverpool winning the league. We're going to do X, Y, and Z.
They say that, but they don't. No, I agree with what you're saying. They don't say that. But if you ask any fan outside the top 6 and you look at the rules, they will always say the big 6 get more decisions for them. They all, in my opinion,
that's what someone needs to do, and I've been talking about it for years, and maybe I should do it, but it's a time thing. Is someone needs to sit there and collate for a few seasons all things that go against, all things that go for, and then the contentious decisions for each club. And then over a 2 or 3 year period, it should, you know, they should get a university should do this and make a study on it.
I'd love to see that.
And then you see bona fide facts. Well, this team got this many penalties that the majority of the panel thought weren't, and they got this many that were. Like, you've got to collate this data because everyone. The reason that you know more about Man United or more about Liverpool is because they're bigger clubs and it's seen by more and it's spoken about. And I think all teams get these decisions, but the thing is, if today, when Brighton play Burnley, there's a contentious decision, are we even going to care as a genuine footballing fraternity?
Well, look at Burnley last week, that Ashley Barnes situation, where Burnley hadn't had a penalty for 68 games at this stage. Ashley Barnes is cleaned out by the keeper, cleaned out. He's booked for diving. But it's
exactly.
I mean, they got one later on.
But I mean, these things happen.
A lot of games without
My point of view, for me, it's why I don't moan about them. Is you win some and you lose some. And if a game, if you believe, I get in like really tight games where both teams have done well, it can be frustrating. But over the course of 90 minutes, if you're moaning because you didn't get a penalty, then it means you didn't create enough elsewhere. Especially when you're playing smaller teams, when you're playing a West Ham, when you're playing a Leicester, when you're playing away at Fulham. If Man United draw today 1-1, and we moan that in the 60th minute we didn't get a penalty, but we didn't create much else after that, that's still down to us. The referee may have made a mistake, but we've clearly made more mistakes than the referee in that game to not have created more opportunities to score. Or when we drew with Burnley a few weeks ago, Rashford missing that golden opportunity, Lukaku's inability to for me run the centre properly with the style of football we're playing. Our lack of intensity in the beginning of the game because I think we were complacent. That was the reason that we drew. Not even that we conceded 2 goals, because we allowed them to still be in that game. So I hold, and there's a really great Vinnie Jones story he tells where I think they were losing like 4-0 and they went 4-0 down or 5-0 down because the referee, in his opinion, gave a really dodgy penalty. And he ran up to the referee and he grabbed hold of him pretty much and just screamed at him. He said, "Ref, you're having an absolute shocker today." And the ref just giggled, looked at him, and said, "Look at the score, mate," and walked away. As if to say, maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but your team's having an even bigger shocker. But what we do as humans is we have this natural propensity to find somebody else to blame. So if I can blame a ref, if I can blame the snow, if I can blame the quality of my squad, if I can throw up some sort of excuse to just make me feel better. And then what happens because of the echo chamber that our fan base is that Drifty will say this as a Liverpool fan, or some guy on the Redmen TV will say it. Actually, the Redmen TV, to be fair, are very good. I don't find them to be like that kind of bias. But you get the fan base that like, yeah, I agree with your opinion that everyone's against us. We all have that same narrative, and it makes us all feel very safe and secure in our opinions. And then you get someone like Bianca, who's like, when I spoke to her the other day after the draw, she actually said she's taken a break from Twitter because she's getting abuse for saying, we're throwing this away and we're not being good enough at the moment, Liverpool. So she's been honest about how Liverpool are playing, and Liverpool fans are abusing her, which is the proof I need to say that they just want excuses. And everything Jamie Carragher's saying, Drifty's saying, Liverpool fans are saying, is that they're preemptive excuses. They're planting the seeds to be able to walk away at the end of the season as champions and vitrionic underdogs who have defied the odds. You know, have done a Leicester.
It's not going to happen.
Or they can walk away and say, the world was against us, poor old us, victim Liverpool, you know, and hashtag next year FC. It's truly what I believe.
They're not going to win a league. They're not going to win the league. I'm saying it.
Feeling they will.
They're not going to win the league.
still got a
They're
feeling
going to capitulate.
I still make them favourites. I still make them favourites.
Liverpool fans don't make themselves favourites, and I don't understand.
They don't want to be.
It goes back to what Terry was just saying. Is the excuses. But if you actually break it down, Man City have lost to Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Leicester. Liverpool have only lost to Man City this season.
Liverpool had the chance to go 10 points clear.
They were.
Man City had the chance to go 7 points clear earlier in the season and ruin that.
A lot of people have thrown that at me this week. Oh, why, Liverpool, you're calling them bottle jobs. Why wouldn't you say this about Man City in the last 10 games? They've actually, because they have won it, and we know they can get the job done. And equally, Liverpool fans, you've got to take the banter.
They can't. They can't.
This is what gets thrown at you. And look, if Man United lose today, I've got to sit here for an hour or so after the game and take crap from people because my team have let up. And it's cool. I think we're going to win today. If we don't, you go, sweet, it didn't happen. And you've got to take it on the chin. And this is why, like, too many, and YouTube and social media have done this. People are so desperate to be right. For me, being right isn't important when I'm predicting something because I can't tell the future. You go with your gut, you go with a bit of experience and say, I think this will happen. And we all get some right and we all get some wrong. I sat there and was one of the only people that predicted Arsenal would beat Chelsea in a cup final a few years ago. Everyone said I was mad. Did I go on Twitter afterwards and be like, yeah, I told you. No, I just said, don't ever completely write a team off or anybody off in sport because sport from all levels has taught us that underdogs and unfancied people win things. But equally, you get some guys out there, like we get enough guys that ring this show, they only phone up when they're right or if their opinion in a particular game comes true. If Hazard scores as a great game, people tweet me, oh, I told you. If he doesn't do anything for 3 or 4 games, I don't even see him. It's like, well, fair weather fans and fair weather opinions is as part as out. They're showing Mitrovic.
He's a problem.
He is a problem.
He is a problem if the ball gets over.
He's a one-man army.
The problem I would say, not the problem he may have today, is are Fulham going to attack Man United or are they going to sit back?
And this is the thing.
Well, I think this is where Ryan Babel comes into it. Because if they are playing the 4-4-2, I think it's going to be an old school, little and large kind of situation where they're going to pump the ball up to Mitrovic and just hope Babel could get around the flick.
The thing is, from the little I've seen, I'm not going to say that I've watched from, but from the little I've seen, Babel will wander. He'll wander all over, and he'll be like, I don't know, like a false 9, but he will just wander around. Mitrovic will be the guy that will be in the box waiting, and Babel will be just there wondering. Because I've seen him I think in a few highlights, he's always drifted out, pulled out, and he'll be the one that's delivering the crosses in for Mitrovic. So he might be that guy, and he'll probably be. Obviously, Mitrovic should be the danger man, but he'll be the one to watch as well.
Smalling and Jones are going to have a game. They're going to have to be on point today because he's going to give him all sorts of grief.
Or I can think
he's a battering ram of a striker, isn't he? I still, to this day, I don't understand why Newcastle gave up on him so soon.
I think it has to be personality.
I think it's.
He's a bit hot-headed, isn't he? He's had a few red cards.
I also think. I don't think he's settled in Newcastle. I don't think he's settled. I don't think he's settled to the lifestyle.
Do you know what? I think you're right there. When I will go back to. I'm not comparing it to my job. I'm comparing it to my actual job where I used to manage a lot of the. I worked in a resident non-domiciled department of private banking, where all my clients work in the UK, but they're likely to retire in another country. Essentially, is what you go with. So I looked after a lot of foreign football players, and a lot of them. I remember having conversations with Llorente when he was at Swansea. I know a lot of the Wolves players now. They do struggle because some of these parts of, like Swansea, some parts of it are beautiful parts of the world. And one of my favourite things was to drive to the Swansea training ground for meetings because it was like an hour. Once I got to Wales, it was like an hour of driving through the valleys and the hills, and I loved it. But equally, as a Londoner, as a city boy, I struggle.
Yep.
And then I think, well, but I understand the culture and the language and the food. For a lot of these guys, it's like this is a little bit. It's really small. They don't get the culture. It may be perceived, Newcastle's an amazing night out, but you don't want your footballers out.
No,
exactly.
You don't want your footballers acting like someone from Geordie Shore. So, are they a little bit bored? That's one side of it.
You get a good fry out for £2 though.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love Newcastle. I'm not attacking Newcastle. I'm just saying it's why a lot of the players are attracted to London. And when a lot of my old clients that were based in Manchester and Wolverhampton and wherever, the amount of times they were in London. So I used to look after a Liverpool player. I won't name who he is, and I have access to his accounts and see what he was doing. That man had the amount of money he spent on hotels in London weekly. And I just think, like, so he'd be training and it was every time there's a day off, London, London, London. And again, that's not me attacking, but he just said he likes London, it's bigger, there's more to do. And you can actually hide away more in terms of there's more places to go and do and see. There's more shops, there's more this, there's more that. So they were like, even though they lived in and played for these teams up north and in southern parts of the country, they'd all flock to London. And I get why some players, they fight. It's why Arsenal should do a lot better at attracting players. You're London.
Well, that's why we used to have that holdout. I mean, Chelsea always had a draw as well, but it was always a thing, if you're going to go to London, it was either Arsenal or Chelsea. Yeah, but now, because the money is so much more evenly distributed, you'd think Spurs, if they actually wanted to spend money, would be able to bring in some really good players. West Ham got Felipe Anderson.
Well, I was going to say, West Ham are the ones that I think, I would have said that have used that advantage of being a London club the most. I mean, I would never have thought West Ham would have got Felipe Anderson. Never.
But again, West Ham was a club we looked after, so they have a little connection with a very prestigious company that builds homes, and a lot of the West Ham players, when they first come, they get put up in these amazing apartments in and around Canary Wharf. And you're talking like, we ain't affording those apartments. Like these places, you've got to be like the highest level of banking or medicine or sport. These are like multi-million-pound apartments and they have access to them. And I've gone to them places for meetings and stuff, and you just think, wow. And I know that they're just... It's again, you're right in the middle of London. You're 30 seconds away from City Airport. So a lot of these guys would train and they would play. And if they got a couple of days off, they just get a plane 5 minutes away at City Airport, fly back home to France or to Spain or to Italy, spend a day or so there, fly back again. It was easy, accessible, and it's a selling point of what you've got to do. And it is harder for clubs outside of London to be able to do that, especially as a lot of them want to put restrictions on players. So I don't want you travel, even if it's just to train, I don't want you travelling and driving between London and Manchester or London and Newcastle 2 or 3 times, 4 or 5 times a month. I don't want you flying back home this regularly because we need you here for training. And I make the clubs right on that. But it makes people feel a little bit cut off, and especially if they don't enjoy that city. You know, I've been very lucky. I've been to numerous cities around the world. Some I've loved and enjoyed. Others I think, oh, and I've gone there for work as well. And I thought, well, I'm here for work, but I wouldn't want to be here for more than a week. I just wouldn't want. And it's no disrespect to that place or them people. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. And I think we sometimes as football fans, we can be very dismissive of that, especially us Southerners that live in London, because London has everything. You know, literally with London, it's like, depending on, just think of nightlife. You know, Camden, the West End, South East, Shoreditch, they're all different. So depending on which one you like, you've got. Most other cities don't have that variety. So I completely get that. Food as well. Food's a big thing. Because again, London has, especially when, like, London has everything. Like, but I don't know if everywhere else does. I ain't lived everywhere, but that's nice. One of them things. But he will be a threat today, absolutely no doubt.
Definitely.
If you want to, we will open the phone lines if anyone called in. No one's called in, so we won't do that. Well, if they're open, if people want to call in, you know the number. It's in the description below. Remember, if you want to have any comments read out, Super Chat is the way to do that on both the Ultimate Football Fan and my channel, the Football Terrace. Or you can use the hashtag FanParkLive on Twitter, and we will read out those comments as well. But do us a massive favour before that. Smash the like button on whichever stream you're watching. Hit the share button for us as well. Let's put this out on Facebook, Twitter, any socials that you've got. Let's get it out there. Let's get as many people involved as possible, because it really helps us. I'll be blunt. I'm not going to paint it up to be something else that it can't be. And just a massive thank you as well, by the way. I hit 80,000 subscribers yesterday. So, yeah, buzzing with that. It's
salute. 10,000 of those in my way.
You know what? I always say this, right, to people. A lot of YouTubers I've spoken to and dealt with are so paranoid about losing subscribers by doing work with other YouTubers. What if they prefer you and your views? What if they run? Your main body of viewers are never going to leave your side. They're never going to leave your side. What they're going to do is they just embrace new people that come along, and cross-pollination is the only way. That's why I did this big interview with Rants. Some of it's been released, more of it's coming out. And we're going to be evolving Carcam very soon. And I want as many YouTubers involved as possible. And I get that some are like huge and they may not see the mileage in doing work with me. But equally, the only way you're going to grow is to do that and be involved with other people. And also with my channel, as I always say, there's no echo chambers, so I don't care what, like, you can come on my channel and slag me off. I will still allow that, because I believe in uncensored. Do you know the way I look at it is this, right? Even if you come on and you say something that's so bad you could be arrested for it, that's on you. Like, that's on you. Like, if you want to put that out there and ruin your life, I'll let you do that. Like, do you get where I'm coming from? Like,
everyone's got to eat.
I don't believe in this sort of, like, I think you're guilty by association if, like, you say something really bad and then me and you are pally-pally and I defend you on it. If you do something really bad and I say, I think that's disgusting, that's nothing to do with me. You know, I get annoyed with, like, mainstream channels now, and I get annoyed with YouTube channels where it's like, oh, we're going to stop that opinion going out and this opinion going out, and we don't want to upset this person. And it's like, well, I don't like censorship. I find there's too much of that now in society, and it's like, well, you never get the true story out if you censor people, if that makes sense. And it's like, I always look at it from a political point. You got that guy Alex Jones, Infowars, right?
Oh yeah,
I didn't believe in 90% of what the man said, but I like to listen to it because I used to like keeping a breath of what the right was saying. But now that he's been kicked off all platforms, I look at it like, now I don't even know what he's saying. At least I actually feel less secure not knowing what he's saying than I did hearing it, as an example. But
he's still going to have an audience.
Yeah, mic's on, mate. Microphone is on. We've got a phone call. Let's get them on the air. We capture him. Cheers, brother. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hi, mate. It's Adam. My name's Adam. I'm a United fan.
Oh,
yes! Go on, Adam.
Chris is happy to hear from you. What's your thoughts and feelings? Kick off in 15 minutes time. How are United going to do today?
Well, the midfield three is worrying me. Matic, Torreira, Pogba. Like, shouldn't we be resting at least one or two of them, considering the run of games we've got coming up?
That's got a good point.
Yeah, I said that in my preview. If we're going to, like, we're resting Lindelof, but I don't know how much work. Defenders, for me, don't exhaust themselves in the same way midfielders do. I would have preferred to have seen someone like Pogba or Torreira given a rest today. I totally agree.
We need to win, though. Even though we've got a big match coming up, we still need to win, Adam. So what I'm hoping, obviously, what every United fan's hoping, is that we get a couple of goals in the first half, and then obviously we can start to rotate. We can start to take off players and rest them for the week. But we still need to win this game.
Beats not even travelling. You know, so I don't know. I would have preferred if Pogba didn't even travel, considering the games.
Who would you have started instead of Pogba?
Juan Mata as a number 10, where he wants to play.
Oh, okay, yeah,
that makes sense.
So you're talking about changing the formation. Who would you have started in the game today?
Matic or Torreira. I would have kept one of them in for sure, and I would have played Fred and Mata alongside them.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's enough to beat Fulham.
Yeah, I get your point completely. I just think that if there is a hierarchy of priorities, I would say top four comes first, because there is no pressure on Ollie or Man United to win anything this year. Although I actually think the priority would go secure top four FA Cup Champions League, to be completely honest. And it makes sense with what he's doing. Equally, if Man United go into this game and start off as we have done in many games recently, if we can be a couple of goals up, we get to the 50th, 60th minute, then you can take off Torreira and Paul Pogba and keep them fresh, ready for that Paris Saint-Germain game. But we have to get the 3 points on the board, because if you slip up today and you give Chelsea that opportunity to advance their lead further, it will feel like a kick in the teeth, especially with the games coming up with Man City and Liverpool and Arsenal, all these teams on the horizon. The so-called easier Premier League games, you have to ensure we're picking up the points in them. And but I do get your point there. In terms of, I want to ask you about Phil Jones. So he signed a new deal this week. What's your stance on this as a Man United fan?
Well, the thing is, I saw your video yesterday about how, from a financial perspective, it makes sense to get these guys on contracts. So if you do sell them on, you can get value out of it. Obviously, ideally, I wouldn't want Phil Jones at the club next season, but for now, I'm okay with him getting a new contract, and we'll see what happens in the summer.
I get that. I think it's also contingency, aside from the money.
Yeah.
You know, look, whether people want to agree with it or not, you've got the elite level defenders, your Van Dijks, your Koulibalis. We know Phil Jones isn't at that level. But if we fail to sign players such as that, in the summer, and we know that Ed Woodward can mess up on these signings. What's the point of wasting money on players that are only as good as or only marginally better than Phil Jones? You may as well keep what you've got until you can sign better. But you can't. What you've got to do is you've got to have a contingency and plan B in place.
Yeah.
Should you fail to land them, for me, from a financial side of it, and from a contingency plan, it makes sense. And I'm only annoyed with people that have abused Phil Jones. I'm annoyed with people that say it's nonsensical. To say it's nonsensical, I think is just sensationalist and idiotic. But
yeah, because Phil Jones is not a bad defender. He makes mistakes, but he can string together a good run of games as well. He's not a completely awful defender, and he has his uses. But I do think going into next season, if Bayer and Lindelof is our partnership, and we've got Phil Jones or Chris Smalling as our third choice, we are in trouble. I do think we still need a centre-back.
I think that they will try and sell Phil Jones, or even both, maybe. But as you said, there's no point in you letting them go for free. If you
Marcus Rojo needs to go first.
Fee. Yeah,
because he's too injury-prone for this.
Well, this is a thing as well. You've got to try and sell these players, and I think we've seen already at Man United that mass overhauls can break up the harmony of a squad. So you've got to think Rojo's probably got to go first. Valencia's probably on the way out. You've got Darmian to get rid of. There's 3 defenders that have got to go before Jones, in my opinion. So when it comes to okay, if someone bids for Jones first, you move him on. But the problem that you have is that over those 3 defenders I've mentioned, I'd rather have Phil Jones. So you have to be pragmatic in these approaches and look at it from a realistic point of view. And equally, I trust what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is feeding in. We also know factually that Sir Alex Ferguson has really stepped up his involvement in the club, and he's having a big say in this as well. And I'm putting my faith in those people. And it doesn't mean I'm supportive of Phil Jones.
Well, I don't have faith in Ed Woodward, to be honest, when it comes to this sort of stuff. I still think we need a restructure, because Woodward running the show behind the scenes has clearly not worked for the past, how many years? And I can't see it changing. I could see him taking the cheaper option when it comes to signing players, keeping players on, not going out there, not being shrewd in the market. I'm still have my doubts with Woodward.
I agree with you to a certain extent, but then when you look at the past managers that we've had in Louis van Gaal and Mourinho, when he first came in, they got the majority of players that they did want, and they were backed. And the majority of the time, they were backed. So obviously, in the times we signed Lindelof, Pogba,
but how much of the Alexis signing was down to Woodward or Mourinho?
Yeah. Obviously, Mourinho still had that pull when he came to United, and players still wanted to come and play for Mourinho. And obviously, Manchester United as a brand, players would always be attracted to come to us. But you say with Woodward, he hasn't. Obviously, last season, or this season, shall I say, we wanted a defender. He didn't go out and get the defender. So yeah, he done really poorly in that aspect. But
what happened the first season? He came with Fellaini last minute, like.
I think that was down. I think that was. I think that was awful. I think that was down to Moyes, because Moyes could not attract big players.
I think there's a bit of both in that. I think, but equally, that's my point about why allowing all these players, such as Phil Jones, to all leave on a free at the end of the year. Imagine we let all of them go. Imagine we get rid of Darmian, Rojo, Jones, Smalling, Young, Valencia. That's 6 of our defenders, and we barely sign anybody.
Yeah,
and there would be carnage. You can't operate. Forget football. Imagine you're at work and you've got a workforce of 10 people and you want 5 of them gone. But if you remove those 5 people before finding replacements or having a plan in place to replace them, your business is going to fall apart. So what you do is you slowly replace them one by one. You can't afford to just remove all 5 and then struggle with a skeleton workforce. The same works in sport. You can't allow that to happen. And anyone who thinks that you can does not understand how you run a football club. Look, if you're a Sunday League team and you want 5 of your players gone, you get rid of them and you don't sign anybody new, you're going to play your games with 8 men. Like, it's the same principle. You have to do it that way. But the problem you have is that people love to be angry, they love to be outraged, and they love to, they haven't had a reason for 6-7 weeks now to be angry. So they're using this as their excuse to, it might be, it could be that they're not happy in their day job. It could be that their wife's been sleeping with their brother. It could be any reason.
Speaking of that, have you seen the Paddy Power?
But there's probably an underlying reason why these people are angry with life. and they look at this Phil Jones thing, and they're allowing it to cloud their mind. That's what it comes down to me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, with Phil Jones or Chris Smalling, you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get guys who are willing to sit on the bench, not make a fuss, play when they played, and not cause an issue. If you bring in someone new and you bench them, who knows what could happen? With Phil Jones and Smalling, at least you know they ain't going anywhere because they can't get any better than this.
It's true, and you need players like that.
Yeah,
you need players like that. Yeah, don't get me wrong. The shake-up started. Obviously, we got rid of Fellaini, so it started, and you'll gradually, you'll probably see about two, possibly 3 players go this summer. But it started. The revamp started.
Like I said earlier on, if we go into next season with one of the Chuckle brothers as a third choice keeper, defender, we're in trouble.
Yeah,
mate, I
agree.
I get that. Look, Eric, Bay, and Lindelof, I'm really excited about them in the future. If you bring in a Koulibaly, a Toby, somebody of that level to sit alongside them, I'm happy. You remove then the majority of the rest of the centre backs. I'd actually be happy for all of them then to go, and for the likes of Tuanzebe and Fosu Mensah to be given those opportunities to come in and play and be developed. But we have to land the bodies first. And then the great side of it is from a financial point of view, you've showed faith. When someone wants Phil Jones, let's just say Leicester want him. Great, but we have faith. We have faith in Phil Jones. Ollie spoke positively of him in the press. We've given him a new 4-year deal. If you want him, you're going to have to pay the going rate for a defender his age. At Man United, we were reluctant. Look, whether we want him or not is irrelevant. What Ed Woodward and Man United need to do is put on this show that we don't want to lose these players.
Exactly.
Because that means we've sold too many players at Man United for an absolute pittance. And you look at the way and the money that Man City, and especially Chelsea get when they sell players. It's because the way we need to get more money for players we're selling. And you know why? Because it means you can then invest in more players, better players, to make your squad better. And again, for any Man United fan to see this as nonsensical, they're either being disingenuous, they're lying, or they're simply being outraged for outrage's sake.
Well, Phil Jones, for example, he's a better defender than Mustafi, for example. Like, he isn't that bad.
That's not hard.
He can string together a run.
I'm a better defender than
My nan's better, and she died in 2007, bro. She did. She is better, honestly. She keep more out. Simple as that, brother. Listen, I appreciate your call, mate. The game's about to kick off, so you go and enjoy it, all right?
All right, cheers. Thank you,
my man. Take care.
You know, where Man United are a little bit unlucky is that Everton and now have got money and they're doing their own thing, because otherwise Phil Jones would be at Everton.
But I don't think any top 6 side will want Phil Jones.
West Brom.
Arsenal might want him because you've only got 45 mil to spend.
Do you know, remember we were linked with Chris Smalling.
You were.
Last season,
it was last season. Yeah, you were.
Oh God, no! I'll take him now. I'll take him. No, to be fair, I think defensively, we were linked with Phil Jones when he left Blackburn, and you guys beat him to us.
And you guys nearly signed Smalling as well.
Both of them.
See, I still look at those two. Injuries played a big part. I also feel like the biggest issue those two guys had is they came to Man United, and because of Chelsea and because of suddenly the uprising of Man City, there became even more pressure on Man United to win. And we allowed the likes of Scholes in midfield, but more so in defence, Vidic and Rio, probably to go on a year or two longer than we should have done in terms of giving these youngsters regular game time for development. It was too bit party. I think Anderson suffered that problem at Man United. Nani suffered that problem. At the right age, that between that sort of 18 and 22 period, they didn't play enough consistent football to really master their art, and I think it stumbled their development. That's why I say sometimes you see these like youngsters linked to these big clubs, and I always feel like, don't go. Just stay. Like, I look at Ryan Sessegnon at Fulham. If you're going to move to a club where you're going to still play regularly, like, until you're ready to play week, unless you're Wayne Rooney, where you're ready at 18 to play every single game, you shouldn't be moving yet. You should stay where you are, because clubs only have enough space to develop 1 or 2 players. And the problem I've seen at some clubs, and Arsenal have been guilty of this, Man United certainly have, we have too many really talented youngsters. It's like, well, we can't play them all. You can't play them all at the same time. Not in this day and age where it's more competitive, there are better teams. It's a lot harder to win the league now than it's ever been before.
You know, in a way, that's kind of the direction I want us to go in next season. I want us to put Reece Nelson in and give him games. You know, we have these players who aren't good enough, and I think this is what's happened with Iwobi, because Iwobi had flashes. You could see from when he came in at 17, he's a good player, but he's in and out, and it's ruined him. You know, he has no confidence. When he first came in the team, he was going at players, he's beating them for fun. Remember his debut against Everton, he looked a completely different player to what he is now. So I think next season, if we haven't got any money, trust the youngsters, put them in.
I agree with that, and that's but there's no problem having 4, 5, 6 youngsters. You've got to be willing to play them all.
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine if the class of '92, instead of getting those years where they all played regularly, can you imagine if they played imagine if Beckham, instead of playing every week, was playing 1 in 3 games, 1 in 5 games.
Yeah.
Scholes, 1 in 5. It would never have worked. They would never have developed. And I get there's a different levels in talent, but I do think it's important for these guys to get game time. Players walking out in the pitch. We're now going to switch the overlays on our screen for you. Kickoff is a few moments away.
Go on, Callum.
And I am now starting to get really nervous.
Go on, Callum. You saw Callum Chambers, didn't you?
I'm actually quite relaxed.
You saw Chambers.
I can see us getting at least 3 goals in this game. No, that may be overconfidence, but I can see us scoring at least 3 goals in the game.
Is Ryan Sessegnon starting today?
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's on the bench.
Yes, it's a lot recently.
Yeah, he's not getting many games. People forget just how young he is. He's still only 18.
Yeah.
I know.
And he's played over 100 games for Fulham and he's 18.
I know, it's crazy.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Lukaku looks like he's lost weight.
He had to.
He looks a lot like he's lost quite a bit of weight.
Yeah,
I always feel when you're a professional athlete, losing weight should be so quick and easy.
Oh, yeah.
So quick and easy. Like, I've slimmed up this year. I've actually been in the gym really hard the last 2 weeks, and I'm actually bulking, so I'm putting weight on. But the change within 2 weeks is crazy. So if you're a professional athlete and your only job is to stay fit, how can you not be fit?
Go on, Callum.
This is crazy.
I think Martial will be that guy. I think he'll bag a brace.
A brace?
Yeah, I think Martial bag a brace.
Martial needs to, you know. He's been kind of the only. I've not been that hair of Ryan Babel. I've got no. It's not about having. I don't care about flamboyant haircuts. But it needs to look good.
That's awful.
He looks like a B-Tech Rodman. Do you get what I mean? Or remember Wesley Snipes' his character in Demolition Man? Yeah. Like, that's what he's like, do you know what I mean? But if you're going to have your hair the thing is, like, David Beckham had crazy haircuts, but most of them look good. Paul Pogba does his, they look good. Some people have their hair done, it's like, mate, don't bother.
What are you doing?
I know. Remember Beckham had the cornrow?
That was the only one. That was the only one.
Days.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, that's horrible.
I always find 2 things a white man should never do with his hair: cornrows and dreads. Those 2 things, nah.
But I think if you're gonna do the dreads, then you have to go fully
proper.
Fully.
I still think it looks weird, but it's
Yeah, Martial, I think because you see at the front three, like you were saying, when it was you say Lingard, Rashford, Martial as our main front three. Martial has probably in the last couple of games been the weakest of the 3.
Well, if you look at what Pogba and Lingard and Rashford have produced in terms of outputs in those games, since Ollie's been there, I think Martial's only scored 1 and assisted 1 goal. Yeah. And now again, that's not, you don't just go on statistics. He's been an intricate part, but he's kind of taken a back seat to those guys, which has been interesting to see. I thought he would accelerate even further, but that's standard for football, and I think sometimes our minds get clouded by what a certain 2 individuals in Spain have done for a decade, where they're just scoring and assisting in every game, where actually form does go up and down like that. But and he's still young, and he's still very young. So.
It's just frustrating because he has the potential to go on to be one of the best players in the world. He has the potential. He has it there. Yeah, Martial. Yeah. He has that potential there.
We was having this conversation yesterday. A lot of it is to do with, do you want to be the very best in the world?
Yeah,
or are you happy just being, good? Because I think that's where Ronaldo got to that level he was, because he wanted to be the very best. And I think there's a lot of players, I'll say this for Hazard, I think Hazard's just happy being very good. I don't think Hazard actually wants to be the very best. If he did, you'd see a different player.
His fanboys want him to be there, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he's rubbish, because this is what everyone takes away from him. He's a very, very good player.
Like it's like when I say he's not like, when I say he's like not in like the elite level bracket at the top. When I talk about generation defining players, that doesn't mean I'm saying he's a bad player. It just means I'm saying he's not in that same ilk as an R9 or a Cristiano or a Messi or a Zidane. He's a tier or 2 below, and everyone has. And the problem you've got is everybody's tiers are different. Go on, United, straight from the kickoff. Go on, Delot.
I like this.
Go on, Delot.
Come on,
Delot.
Lovely.
United fans, we like him. We just wanted to just get more game time.
What United need to. You need to sign players like that. Get these gems
on the front foot already.
Absolutely.
We get an early goal. Yeah.
Abs, is the overlay change coming?
Mata to Lukaku, 1-0.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Smalling, shall I say?
Free kick in. Good.
Oh, Lukaku was there.
That's a poor clearance.
That is poor.
That's
That was
Herrera,
poor,
that's a really-
Herrera.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
good footwork. That's
Oh,
a good
look at
ball.
this.
Oh, this is
Fulham are on
dangerous.
the counter attack straight away. Oh
This is
my
dangerous.
God.
Mitrovic is free on the far post.
Oh my God.
Oh!
Oh!
Fulham should be
That
1-0
should've
up.
got
on
who's
target.
that?
Who's that? Vieta.
Oh.
That was a great chance.
Oh,
That was
wow.
a great
I feel
chance.
like this is working though, Abs.
No, but you make noise, you can hit it. That's what it
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When you hit it, it makes loud noise.
Somebody
Wow.
said Ryan Babel is looking like an eraser on a pencil.
Oh, he didn't catch that properly.
You know what he really looks like? You know when your dog gets a bit excited and the lipstick comes out? That's what I'm saying.
Red racket.
That's a great chance for Fulham. Great chance.
Thank you. New overlay up. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us as well. That way you never miss
Two early
any
chances.
notifications. So get that done. Yeah, 2 early chances. There we go.
It's looking like it's going to be a decent game.
I hope
Yes,
so.
it is. Just reading the news. David Beckham's been given a statue outside the LA Galaxy Stadium.
Yeah.
Damn.
That makes sense.
He
Yeah.
does it. He's obviously a legend for
Put
their
him on the
club.
map.
Yeah.
But he's got his own team starting up soon. When's that start? Is it
I'm
next
not
year?
quite sure. Yeah, Miami, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
David.
he's going to get a
I
ton of players wanting to go
love
there.
that. I love
yeah.
David Beckham.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Imagine footballers wanting to retire in Miami.
Yeah.
He's going to get a lot of ballers out there.
Oh, I trust.
They might
Oh,
not
yeah.
turn up for the games.
That's poor touch, Pogba. What an interesting start a couple of minutes in. We need to get the timer working, brother.
Oh, shit. Oh, was it the minute? Sorry.
It's yeah, cool.
All right, let's set it down. Set it down. Start passing it
Fulham are
around.
Looking for a few of those.
They're counter attacks. That's what
quick
you guys
counter-
said.
that's a
Yeah.
poor ball.
Another
Go
poor
on,
ball.
Callum.
Callum's all the way up there.
I'll be watching him closely.
Andre Schürrle is such a good player. Like, it's just a shame it didn't work out for him at Chelsea. When they signed him, oh,
Nah, it's
it's a
gone.
goal
It's gone.
kick.
It's gone. Goal kick.
Good start by Fulham though. 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah. Let's just settle down.
I don't rate Schürrle that highly, to be fair. I think he's very one-dimensional.
He's a match of the day player.
Yeah.
Good highlights, but yeah,
You know,
overall.
you know what he's going to do. He's always going to try and get a yard and just hit.
Yeah.
Or just head down and run.
Yeah. He's got a decent shot on him though. I remember
got
the
a
goal he
great
scored
shot,
against
yeah.
Burnley.
He's got a great
Away,
shot on him,
yeah, he's got a
but
decent shot on him.
I don't think there's too many layers to him as a player.
Nah, nah.
Uncontested there.
Yeah.
Fulham
Oh,
making this
Smalling.
scrappy.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
making this scrappy.
Yeah.
That's a poor ball.
Ryan Babel, Liverpool legend.
It's a good ball. He's offside, isn't he?
No.
Goal.
Oh.
Oh my
Fulham
God,
have
Fulham so
started
close
really,
again.
really well. Jeez.
Oh, I
So
thought he put
close
that away.
again.
Fulham have started really,
That could
really
have
well.
been
Is that
a penalty,
Schürrle?
actually. Yeah. It's nice football as well.
It is good
Yeah, he was
football.
onside.
See, this is going to be a problem, yeah? This
It's
is
a penalty, isn't it?
I think they both
was
had
all
hold of it.
over
I
him.
think they both had hold of each other. To be
Yeah.
fair, if we watch it again,
yeah, both had it on
that's
each other.
that's.
Yeah.
I've always said that about that rule of holding. Right, I want to see a
Yeah.
close up and then we'll see.
Both of them, yeah, both of them. Are good.
Yeah, Smalling
both
stopped-
of them. 6
I mean,
to 1,
that-
half a
that's-
dozen the other.
that
as
could
the
be
old
given as a
cliche goes.
penalty.
It could
It
be
could
given
be.
as a penalty, but I've always got these views on them, and it's Fulham are still attacking it. Let's talk after this attack because
Swing that in.
Fulham
This
are
is a
crossing the
problem.
ball.
Poor ball.
This is a
Poor
problem.
clearance.
This
Bring
is a
back.
problem. This is you see with Mata playing, yeah. This is a problem because Fulham on the left now. They're gonna come down the left a lot more in this game because Mata, he hasn't got the athleticism to track back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a problem.
Also,
and
I think they got the formation wrong. He's looking like they're playing Babel and Schürrle wide and Mitrovic through the middle on his own.
yeah,
Yeah, they often.
Yeah.
The broadcasters often get the formation wrong.
Fulham are pressing.
Yeah, they are up for
Pressing,
this.
yeah.
They are up for this. Well, they need this.
They're
'Cause,
going to. They're going
How
to.
many points
Well,
behind are they? I think they're about 5 or 6
Let's look
points
at the league
clear.
table now. Yeah, so they're on 8. Well, they're on 17 points.
Yeah.
And they're 7 points behind Burnley in 17th. So
Yeah, they need this.
and this is the time of the year though where relegation teams actually have a big say in the
Decent
league
run, yeah.
because they for whatever reason they couldn't play like this at the start, but then they step up.
because they're fighting.
Like desperation
Yeah.
kicks in, isn't it?
Yeah, people are going to lose their. Some of these people have huge wage cuts when they get relegated.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Unless you're Sunderland and you just don't put that in people's contract. You know, with Jack Rodwell.
If you're a man who's if you're a man who's earning 30 grand, 40 grand a
crazy.
week, and that's going to drop down to 15 grand, like, although that's still a lot of money to the average man, for you as a person,
Played. Who's that?
That's it. Well
that's
played.
That's a huge
Yeah,
drop.
sure.
So people have got to, they fight harder.
Have you not seen that Sunderland documentary?
No.
Watch it on Netflix. It's
Yeah?
amazing.
Jack
It's
Rodwell was on
mind-boggling.
80 grand.
He was on 70 grand a week.
70
When they
grand.
he was the only one who didn't sign a
Relegation clause.
relegation clause.
Yeah.
Is this?
Jack Rodwell at Sunderland.
Oh, really?
And they got relegated twice. So he was in League One, hadn't played a game,
Yeah.
and was just sitting on 70 grand.
Jeez.
They had a meeting with him trying to say, look, we want to terminate your contract so you can find a new club.
Yeah.
And he refused. He said, no, I'm staying here.
Don't blame him.
Sat on the bench.
I don't blame him. Don't blame
Unbelievable.
him.
The club is just run like an absolute joke.
Yeah.
Well, you read that? Have you watched the show about Sunday? It's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And
yeah.
you got the new guy that's coming to run it. Now he hasn't actually said it, but
the
basically,
low.
like,
Took
he's
a
come
risk
into
there.
that mess and he's trying to fix it.
Yeah.
And he hasn't ever really said it out loud, but it's kind of like the people that run this before I came here, just clown.
Yeah.
Which is why when Man United do things like they've just done with Phil Jones, I get so frustrated that people. They have no idea. These people have no idea how to run a business. They have and that aspect of football has to be run like a well organised business. You can't manage it just like I'm a football fan, so I don't care about the money we spend, and I get that. But if the owners and the club don't care about what they spend, you end up like Portsmouth.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Put him under pressure.
That
Give
was
in.
terrible.
Go on.
Come on now, United. Martial, do it.
Go on.
Pogba.
Pogba! He
good
tackled
tackle.
himself.
Good tackle.
Pogba!
You should have taken advantage of that.
Should have.
I don't know
Martial.
what that guy was thinking.
Well played.
That's not a foul, ref.
I thought Marcel was just going to cut inside and just curl it.
I think Pogba kind of made that more difficult for him.
He
Didn't
did,
move out of the way.
Yeah.
Why
He
did he
should've went on
pass
his
it
own.
there?
He
It's
should've went on his own.
Pogba's touch. He touched the ball and it went behind
Yeah,
him.
why
so
did he pass it there?
I'm thinking he hit this first time.
He was under pressure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why did he pass it there?
Yeah, he should have went on his own, Martial. There.
That's all right.
But that could be the way back in for Man United now.
Well,
Yeah.
Fulham a bit.
Well, also with Fulham have come out like a ball in a china shop.
Yeah.
If United don't concede and can get through this little onslaught, they'll then take it. And this happens a lot in football. So
Yeah.
I'll say to fans, don't panic right now. Just calm down. United will find their feet.
Yeah.
It's about rhythm, innit?
They have the better players. It's good football there again. Oh,
Come
Pogba
on,
Come on,
loses it.
Seri.
Play him in, play him in.
Lovely
Good ball.
Matic.
Did he stay on side? Yeah.
Go on, Lukaku. Oh, unlucky.
Slightly
Unlucky.
just over his head.
Yeah,
Lukaku's
unlucky.
big,
It's
but he
good
ain't at
play.
all.
It's a good play. Mark Henry there.
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry up front. That's good play. No, it's decent. I can see if United score, I think we'll go on to win it comfortably. Because I think with Fulham are like that little dog that, I don't know, a little dog trying to fight that big dog. It's like Scrappy Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're showing all that fight and all that heart, but then
Yeah.
one slap and they'll be quiet and then that'll be it.
yeah, just that one bite.
Just that one bite and then that's it. They'll run away.
Sorry, mate. Apologies for the noise you all just got through there. I just turned the microphone off to save batteries, and I think I just deafened half of YouTube.
Come on. Well played.
Sorry, bruv. Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, one bite. My mum had this Jack Russell one time.
Yeah.
And it was giving it to the staff that we had, and the staff didn't bite hard. It just went just one little nibble.
And that was it.
Jack Russell didn't bark all day. It knew. Sit down.
Yeah.
That's nice football, United. Starting to
I
play
see
better
we started to
football
play.
now.
Yes, yes.
Pogba, did you ever hit it?
Nah, he's got
I
it.
think that went out, you know.
Nah, he's got it.
That's
I
a
like it.
Fulham throw, innit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fulham.
Slightly overhit pass there by Pogba, whose passing's been a bit off in this opening 10 minutes.
I think Man United are struggling to find the rhythm. I think Fulham have kind of
Because Fulham are on top of them.
six a little bit. Yeah.
Do you know what? It's reminiscent. You see when we played Leicester away, first half we were good, but you see second half,
Yeah.
Leicester really came on top of us,
Yeah.
and then that's why we couldn't play out as well, play out as much.
And that's
That's
another
what Fulham
thing
are
that
doing.
really, like, it gets on my nerves a bit. When you get these smaller sides playing against big sides and the big sides don't get a result, it's never well done to the other team. They
Yeah.
played well. So it's like, oh, we were rubbish, oh, the referee did this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's never well done. Leicester actually put us under pressure and
They did.
they deserve their result.
What you
Yeah.
got to remember about most professional football players is when they're on fire, like they can reach those levels. Like there are games I've watched like Leyton Orient play, and they've had players that are League One standard, but on their day, I saw them play against Arsenal and a couple of Orient players on that day put in performances that were Premier League standard. Now the only reason they play in League One is that they can't reach that level on a consistent basis. Yeah. So when you play a Premier League team like Fulham, Fulham's players are capable of putting in a performance that is like title-winning quality for one game. Yeah. For one game, they can put in that kind of quality. But as you say, people don't like to afford that thanks and that credit to individuals. They just look at themselves. But what Fulham are doing now is very reminiscent of what happens in a lot of boxing matches when you get an elite fighter against someone slightly below that standard. They come out early, they're throwing loads of punches. You've just got to defend it well, not get yourself knocked out, not conceding, and then your class will come in. Your class will come in. Of course.
And then take control of the fight. So they're taking chances though.
Oh come on, ref!
Chances. Running the ball
it's
out.
Good playing, Martial. Yeah.
One thing about Man United's team though, which still hasn't improved enough for me, even under Ollie, is that if you press us hard, we don't handle it very well. We're not a team like you look at Spurs. Spurs are a team when you press Spurs, they'll play around you. They're comfortable.
Do you know what it is? Yeah.
That's a foul.
How many people? Yeah. How many United players? Yeah, can play one-touch passing?
Not many.
Not many, and that's why we don't like the press. That's why when teams press up against us, we will look a bit shaky.
Just want to see this foul, and Matic got really slammed there.
I think he caught him with a high foot.
What's the referee watching then? If you ain't seen that, the man's proper hurt. Like Matic's actually injured here.
Where is he injured?
I don't think it wasn't intentional. They were both going
no, it wasn't intentional.
For the ball, I think he just caught him on the way down.
Former teammates, were they? Were they at Chelsea at the same time?
Could have been.
I think Sherlock left before. How long was Matic at Chelsea?
Oh, that's painful.
That's dangerous.
Right on the knee.
That is going to be painful.
Oh. Got him on the kneecap.
Yeah, that's going to be painful.
I mean, both of them had their legs high.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
The thing of it is as well, like if that wasn't Shirley, if that was like a player that's considered to be dirty, you know referees would look at that differently.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Reputation definitely precedes some people.
Why are you knocking it high to Mata this morning? Why are you doing that?
I think he was going for Lukaku.
Yeah, this is one thing I don't like. We do too much of that, right? When we have Lukaku on the pitch, we go long to him all the time. England used to do that when Crouch was up front. We just started playing too much long ball because he's tall. It's the one thing, like with Rashford, we very rarely play it long to him. No. Because there's no point.
Run the channels. He'll run the channels. That's poor.
Nice.
You're starting to see Fulham's quality now, and that it's not as good.
Yeah, they're losing the ball. Yeah. They're pressing hard, which is important.
Yeah.
But it's been, to be fair, 30 minutes in, there hasn't been any quality from Man United.
No.
There really hasn't been any quality play yet. And that's fine.
This guy's looking a little bit shaky, this Lamashot.
Well, he's lost the ball a couple of times and plays in your mind. Lost it again now.
We'll play Luke Shaw.
Seem to get the ball under.
Start playing. Look, you see that on it?
Putting you under, isn't
yeah.
But that's why we've got to have more confidence, because you pass round that, suddenly
beat the press, yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Like that, yeah. Go on, Martial. Take him on. Take him on.
Pogba's there.
Oh, he's trying it again.
That final ball. Just not good enough again.
Oh.
Well played. Oh, nice.
That's a nice touch.
Nice, Torreira.
Is he onside?
Yep. Oh! Pogba!
Yay! Yay!
How did he get that?
I didn't even expect that.
I did not even expect that. Jeez!
Boom.
I did not expect that. Wow. Pogba, captain.
Do you know what?
Fantasy football captain. Get in there. I did not expect that.
He's onside.
He's onside. Yeah, clearly onside. I did not expect that.
I just want to say about that goal.
Wow.
I just want to say about that goal for a second. The ability there from Torreira to win that ball, avoid the tackle, that's where that goal stems from. But Pogba scoring from there is wonderful.
Wow.
Absolutely brilliant, Paul Pogba. And it ain't a penalty. Nah. It's not a penalty where it silences people.
Wow.
Well done.
He's completely taken the goalkeeper by surprise.
Completely.
Did not expect that. He was going to shoot.
Nobody expected that, I don't think, apart from him. Jeez.
Absolutely brilliant.
Haters
There we
will say
go,
they mean
baby.
it.
There we go, baby.
Of course, haters are gonna say that. It's like that Ronaldinho goal against Seaman. Did he mean it or not? That's what the haters will say.
Let's not talk about that.
Pogba shot there. You can tell. The thing is you can tell by someone's body shape they're going to try and cross or they're going to have a shot.
Yeah.
Nah, he hit that.
He hit that. He meant that.
But
Definitely.
And this could be curtains for Fulham.
Well, it could be, because that was the first bit of quality for Manchester United in the game, where the passing came off. A great assist there by Martial. Wonderful play from Ander Herrera to create that opportunity for Manchester United. It really is. But what's now needed is you just need to remain calm. No sillies. Don't let Fulham back in the game and just start to pick them off, because Fulham are already coming at United, so that space is going to remain.
And they were, they gave the ball away again on the edge of their own box.
Exactly.
They've done that a few times already.
So I'm saying that you can see Fulham's lack of quality now.
There's a lot of high boots going in.
Yeah. It's quite frantic. Ooh.
That's not a pass back. You can pick that up, keeper. Yeah, can't give that. Like,
I think it's a disguised back pass.
yeah.
The referees don't know what they're doing. Are they guys captain today?
Yeah.
Deservedly so.
I thought Smalling was.
No. I'm glad. He has been captain before, but it's
Pogba. Oh.
No. Jeez.
Oh, he's clattered him there.
Yeah.
He's clattered him. That's one way to get the guy out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was naughty. He's left it on him there.
Yeah.
That was naughty.
Let me see.
What, from De Gea?
No, from
look.
Mitrovic.
Ooh.
Oh, clattered it. He's a big unit
he's done that on he's done it on purpose.
Left it on him there on
yeah,
purpose.
of course.
If he's injured, I mean, Romero's a top quality keeper as well, but it's just the aura and what it means going forward.
Yeah.
He's probably just winded though.
I think that's what it is. I think it's just winded. I hope it's nothing else.
Yeah, you hope it ain't in the ribs.
Yeah.
Not with the games we've got coming up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's wonderful from Pogba. Let's watch this again.
I think it was poor defending.
Good challenge there. Luke Shaw wins it back. Herrera skips the ball.
Yeah.
Finds Martial. And it's this first touch. Boom. In. And then Pogba straight away. Bang. He shoots.
Yeah, he
shoots.
shoots. Yeah, you know he meant that. You know he
Keeper
meant
weren't
that. Yeah,
expecting that
keeper
at all.
was not expecting that. Yeah.
Look at the way he's gone for the.
Yeah. And he meant
Joe,
that.
I spoke about this last week, and we talked about how great David De Gea is. David De Gea doesn't do what I don't know. Sergio Rico has done there. You very rarely see David De Gea doing this jumping thing before a shot, and he never gets his feet. Very rarely his feet are caught. It's why he can move across. He was flat-footed, and Pogba knew he was going to shoot already. It's his 12th goal of the season, 7th in his last 8 Premier League appearances. No other midfielder.
Torreira's better than that.
Drifting. And this is the best bit. Man's not comparing Pogba this season to Baby Keita. Baby Keita. Just because he has a good turn and he dribbles well with the ball.
Yeah.
Again, it's like all that dribbling for what?
I tell you, one thing I will say, because I've watched a lot of Naby Keita in the Bundesliga, and the system that Leipzig play is unique. You don't really see that. I've not seen that anywhere else.
And I get that. And
it's going to take him a long time.
Systems
to
are
adapt,
important,
yeah.
but I think the only reason I throw shade out at the Keita thing.
Pogba right now has the same amount of Premier League goals as Hazard currently, 12-12.
Well, there we go. So the point I was making is that with Naby Keita, because of a few good touches, hang on, because of a few good touches and because of a good opening display, he was being regarded as a ready-made Premier League player. People were talking about he could be as good as this guy and that guy, and I just feel that that's a little bit disrespectful. Calm down, because you've now set yourself up for the criticism. People say, well, what about Fred? It's like, great, but no one said Fred was going to be the next Paul Scholes.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've got to take the L on that one. And I think Naby Keita will turn it around, actually.
Yeah, I
but
do as well.
I'm just having some fun while he's playing poor.
I remember having a massive argument with people on Twitter about, there's like, oh, Keita's twice the player of Ramsey. I was like, that's rubbish. Like, he has the potential to be better than Ramsey, but you can't sit there and say he's better than Ramsey now. Ramsey's been doing this for the best part of 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
So I think people are very reactionary. That's all it is.
Oh, without a doubt.
That's a good ball. Did Mitrovic get booked for that on?
No,
he didn't, did he?
No.
Which you said about reactionary, which is why I have the opinions that I hold on people like Eden Hazard. It's like, yeah, okay, he's been really good this season, but I'm judging him on the last 7 or 8 years. When you put that into context and complete, you had that's the article, that's the player. You don't base it on a 3 month. Like I've said, like I'm really impressed with what Pogba and Rashford are doing, but I've equally said it's no good for 2 months. This needs to become week in, week out for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then we start talking about where you sit in the hierarchy of Premier League greats. That's it.
The very best in world football do it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, take Messi and Ronaldo out of it because they're alien. But the best players do it all the time. David Silva will do it throughout the season.
So for Paul, Pogba now, and he's he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assists and 7 goals since Ollie's come in. It's phenomenal, ridiculous. And he's dominated so many of these games and been the man.
I mean, they're all penalties, though, aren't they, really? Let's be real.
All the assists are penalties as well.
Yeah.
All the great passes are penalties. Oh, that touch from Pogba. Jeez.
Yeah, I think they're going to start having some fun now.
People want to... Well,
a bit too slow there.
Yeah. I like it. He's taking on plays. He's not scared.
You put him under pressure.
Yeah, he's not scared.
Good ball out.
Yeah.
It's a very good ball out.
Good touch.
Lovely there from Fulham.
He's done well.
Counter on. This boy's got some pace. Oh, he's touched there, let him down.
Oh.
Well done, Phil Jones.
That's good refereeing, that.
Yeah.
Good refereeing.
Oh, Pogba, that was poor. That was really poor from Pogba. You got to say it's poor when it's poor, and that was awful. It really, really was. Someone said here, is Hazard a flat track bully? No, he does it against big teams. He's not a flat track bully. It's not that at all. I've stated it so many times. Not my issue with Hazard. I'll make these 3 points. If anybody wants to disagree, feel free to. I don't put him on the same tier as class as players such as Henry and Zidane, but he has time to move into that. He's still got years to go. I don't think he's anywhere near the standard of Ronaldo or Messi. And I don't think he's the undeniable best player in the Premier League. I think there is a debate to be had, but he could be the best right now.
Yeah.
If you disagree with any of those points...
What a touch.
Well played, Lukaku.
Oh, that was poor from Mata.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Wow. Right, that you got...
Oh, Ryan Babel.
Wow.
Hold that L.
Jeez.
Go on, Matic. Drive with it. Go on, son.
He's going to have a dig.
No, he's not.
Oh, good tackle.
Good tackle.
Good tackle.
He's a good player, Seri.
Yeah, that's not a foul, ref.
Go on, Callum.
Come on,
You missed that. Bring him back to Arsenal.
You know, whenever I hear you call a player by his first name, I just think of Ty. That's all Ty does. Just so everyone's wondering, that's abs on the camera there, the hat on and the beard. Everyone can see. People are going, who's that dude?
Yeah. We're not getting robbed.
That's our producer today. He was on camera last week, if you remember.
I need to see him. I need to see Adam. We need to talk about this Leno thing. That's the...
No, to be fair, I think Adam had the worst time than
come on,
Drifty
man.
did. I mean, Adam was just sitting here and just like Leno top 2, you know?
Nah.
What was he
we
talking
need
about?
to talk about that.
Talk to your boy, please.
Adam, we need to have a word, brother.
Talk to your boy about Leno top 2.
United are going to turn over the ball.
Like, I'm not even sure if he's top 2
Here we
in
go.
the club.
Yeah.
Go on.
Exactly.
Go on, Martial.
Go on.
Have a run at him, boy. Have a run at him, boy. Go on. Go on.
Go on. Go on. Go on. What a goal! What a goal!
My God!
What a goal! That guy, Marcel. I told you.
Yeah,
I said
he
that
said
guy. I said that guy is coming, man.
You know what?
Wow.
He is coming.
Chris called that today, and we
Coming.
said this. We said this
He's
before
coming.
the show started.
This could be embarrassing.
This is what
Yeah,
we needed to see.
I said that.
This is what we needed to see from
What
Anthony
said that?
Martial.
Jeez.
Where did he pick that up from?
Jeez.
In his own half, it must have been. Was it his own half?
Close. It was, yeah.
Well in his own half.
Yeah.
Oh.
Almost similar to like Van Nistelrooy. He scored against Fulham as well.
It was like Ronaldo's goal here a few years ago. But
what a
finish.
finish.
What a
That's
goal.
a brilliant goal.
But as I was saying, I think with him, he's kind of taken a back seat to Pogba, Lingard and Rashford in the Ollie era. And today, without Lingard and Rashford in the team, he had to step up, and he did. Phenomenal goal.
You know,
phenomenal.
I'd like to say about that as well. There was a chance where the first challenge went in.
Yeah.
Where he could have gone down. He could have dived. He could have got a free kick. Got the guy booked. He carried on.
A comment here from Julian Collins, who says, it looked like Henry scoring that goal. That was Henry-esque.
Yeah,
like Henry-esque.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I know, like,
I'll give you that.
I know Henry's fanboys, but don't compare him. The goal was like it. The finish was like it. Class.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a great
Top
goal.
four's back.
Great
It
goal.
is.
Absolutely phenomenal, Man United.
So I was saying, I told you, stay calm. I told you.
Go on, Callum.
Relax, we got
Bang
this.
that left foot. Go on.
Ryan Babel's in here.
Hold on.
Great skill.
Give it back to
lovely.
Callum. He's the only one doing anything.
Phil Jones, what a
Let's see
tackle.
what he
Yeah. Oh,
Phil
Phil
Jones.
Jones again. I
Phil
told you.
Jones, he's worth that new deal. Worth that new deal, baby. Worth that new deal. Worth that new deal.
They're going to get slaughtered now.
Jeez.
It's gone down ever since I took my sign down. I think that's where it was.
Yeah.
I need to put the Fulham sign back up.
Don't lose
But
it
do you know
there.
what?
Well done,
Do you know what's great about this as well? If you
Oh,
know, that's a
ref,
yellow
ref.
card now. Come on,
They-
ref.
they're a
he'll
bit
take
late on
that.
some of these.
Yeah. Right, okay. If we get another goal before half time, then we can start ringing on the changes. Start resting players. That is a yellow.
Do you know what I say? Yeah, that's a great point on that. It's a case of if you can get a third goal by the 50th, 60th minute, then you take off a couple of your players you want for the weekend, and that's job done. And again, we saw that week in, week out. When Fergie was there, you get yourself ahead, you then bring a man off, give him 30 minutes rest, ready for the game. But this is, it's good. And this could be 6 away wins on the bounce.
This could be.
First time United have done that in a decade. A decade. A decade.
Fulham started so well as well.
They did. Told you.
Just goes to show.
The little dogs did that one slap, that one backhand. That's it.
Yeah.
Just one backhand and that's it. That Martial goal, I'm gassed. Gassed.
It's 2 great goals. It's good ball, great touch. What's he giving that
Offside.
for?
Offside. Lukaku.
He's had some good touches. Though.
He actually has, to be fair.
A lot of people slag him off for his bad touches, but he's had some really good touches in
To
this
be
game.
fair, he has. He has.
A confident Lukaku could be massive for Man United towards the end of the season.
No, of course.
That's a great ball.
Yeah.
Do you know, interesting stat going into this game. Only Arsenal 20... only against Arsenal 20 have Fulham lost more Premier League matches than versus Manchester United. So this could be number 20 for them today. So the omens were always with Manchester United, but
yeah, we always beat down Fulham. That's why I'm so happy they got promoted.
and listen to this here. Listen to this here. Man United are unbeaten in their 8 Premier League games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with 7 wins and 1 draw, netting 20 goals and conceding just 6. They are looking for their 6th consecutive away win in all competitions for the first time since May 2009. It's a decade since United could win this many away games on the bounce. To put down this improvement purely to a bounce, purely to Ollie just saying yes to all the superstar players and not putting it down to tactics, training, systems, coaching, man management, the right backroom staff. To say that is so disingenuous. It is unbelievable.
I don't see how Arsenal fans can see this Man United, see what Chelsea are capable of doing, especially now with Higuain, and think that we are realistically going to finish top 4.
I don't think Arsenal finish top 4 in the next 5 seasons.
5 is a bit much.
I think. But the thing is, the reason why I say I might be saying that tongue in cheek, but the reason why I say that is because, as Terry alluded to earlier, are you going to put the right amount of investment needed to break into the top 4 against City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United? I can't see you doing that.
Yeah,
I can't see you doing that, and I don't know if gone are the days. You see, obviously, when Wenger used to be able to
great defending,
and he had his scouting team that used to be able to pick out these gems, and then he used to be able to sell them on. But obviously, you'd find these great players. I think it's harder to do that now because there's just so many people that are just out there that are looking for all these players. Everyone's got them, Everyone's got that same similar network, so it's just going to be harder to do. That's what I'm saying. For Arsenal, probably 5 seasons.
Yeah,
5 seasons until you do that.
A friend of mine was telling me about a report, an interview with David Ornstein, who's got great knowledge of Arsenal Football Club, and he's saying from top to bottom the ins and outs of the club. And I need to read it fully, but it was very interesting, some of the bits that were coming out of there. He's saying how much power Emery actually has at the club, and the reasons why Sven Millerstadt left, Gazidis, what he was up to and stuff like that. Apparently it was Wenger who spotted Guendouzi and got the ball rolling on that. And it's fascinating. I need to read the whole thing, but the club is all over the place. It's not just on pitch.
But that's what happened. There's one thing, when you look at Liverpool, Man City right now, whether you love or loathe the clubs, what they stand for, whatever, the way they both run on and off the pitch is brilliant. It cannot be. Of course, people will look at City and go, what about the owners and the human rights records? And I'm not saying that's great. I don't know enough about it. I'm talking how they run the football club is brilliant. Liverpool had all these problems for a long time, but they sorted them out. And the clubs that run the best on and off the pitch, with the quality of players you have, the right managers, you'll do the best on the pitch. It's as simple and straightforward as that. United's problems have been, a lot of it's been the boardroom. A lot of it. And that comes, unlucky there. Fulham, do you know what? I'll give Fulham their dues. They're still coming.
Still trying.
But they've got to come out now.
Oh, of
They've
course,
got to come out now. 30 minutes into the game, 2-0 down.
Should play into United's hands. I just wanted to point out that you see, American owners can actually go to games, Arsenal fans. I just want to say that. American owners can go to games.
Yeah, well, there are 2 American owners, here, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's Fulham owned by, what's the name, Khan.
Yeah.
But Stan Kroenke has zero interest in Arsenal Football Club. You know, it's a cash cow for him.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name, but in that same report, there's 2 guys who really have the day-to-day running of the club.
Yeah.
And they don't really know what they're doing. So
Worrying times. That's what I said. 5 seasons. 5 seasons until Arsenal make it back into it. It sounds like a long time.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why it's scary, but I reckon it would take you 5 seasons. You won't get top 4 for the next 5 seasons.
I even said this when we did the previews in the summer. I said Arsenal will improve, and I do think you've improved this year. But any Arsenal fan that's got this imagination that they're going to end up, you know, top of the league, challenging for this, doing it, like, it's delusional right now because the other clubs are just so much further in front of you.
Yeah.
And unless Spurs lose all their players and don't reinvest. You know, Man United look like they're sorting themselves out now. Chelsea are always going to be in and around where they are, and Liverpool and City ain't going to fall away from the situation that they're in. I just don't see how people like expect it to change purely because Wenger's gone, and that's why I think Arsenal fans are becoming angry again because they thought, the pasture's new, it's all sorted, and then suddenly out of nowhere it's like we're back to
like that.
Yeah, of course it don't. It was never going to work like that.
You see, with everything that's happening now, yeah. Would you say now that you see, obviously Arsenal are always looking to blame Wenger. Would you say now with everything that's come out, it's less his fault?
100%.
Yeah.
I think what Wenger was to his detriment, but for the club's benefit, he papered over a lot of cracks and he took a lot of pressure on himself. He never came out and said this is what someone like Mourinho would have come out and said this is what's happening. It's not me. Yeah, it's happening at the club. Wenger always put no, it's me. He never once spoke ill about the owners or what was happening behind the scenes.
It's very much what Fergie did. Fergie come out of all of his, there's no value in the market. There's too much money on this. My squad's good. Like, Fergie protected because if Fergie would have come out at any point and said this club's in absolute turmoil, it would have capitulated. And I think that's the.
That's a great
Pogba's
ball.
in.
Who played that? Was that Dalot?
Yeah. Go on, Marshall's there. Unlucky.
Why didn't Pogba shoot?
What, from that angle?
He did it on his left.
Try and back heel, yeah. See, someone should be running in there. Someone should be giving Matic an that's well over here. Jesus Christ.
Luke Shaw, come on.
The Jolly Green Giant wouldn't have got bad ball.
Wow.
That is a cheese slicer and a half, bro.
Wow.
That was a great ball from
Pogba's
Dalot.
playing well. Dalot's playing well, man. This is what we want to see.
Good run from Pogba as well.
Yeah, great run. This is what we want to see.
I can see what he's trying to do there.
Yeah.
He's going to try and flick it up.
He was, yeah.
I thought he should have laid it there to Martial.
Yeah.
It's very, very easy when you're watching from our seat. Why do you do this? Why do you do that?
I would have done this. Chances are I would have never run in the first place.
Yeah.
Be like, nah, you go ahead, Matic. I'll cover you.
Yeah, I say things like that. And I know that I'm a very average Sunday league football player, but I still think, I'll do this. I wouldn't have even been where Pogba was. I wouldn't even got the book.
I'll be in the centre circle,
that's the interesting thing. Some people always say things like, I'd have scored that, I'd have done this, but mate, you wouldn't even been there. That's why you're sitting at home tweeting in your pants.
Wow.
Delo, that is a touch, boy.
Pogba's really enjoying himself.
Bang it, Matt, curl it in the top corner.
Unlucky.
I think you should have went one more out to Pogba.
Corner.
Martial, so.
See, when Matt gets the ball there when you're 2-0 up, that's when I want to see him try and curl it in that top corner. Have a pop on the old goal.
It's a terrible touch.
Someone says to me, Terry, why do you call him Baby Keita? I call him Baby Keita because everybody, even now the other day, we had the Anfield HQ, they post out like, this is Keita, this is our boy. My thing is, you've got a baby version of him. If that makes sense, like a lesser version of him. You've got the baby version of Keita, like Keita Diet. Do you know what I mean? Diet Keita you've got, but Baby Keita's like
Diet Keita.
It's what you've got, Diet Keita. That could be another idea for a video. Yeah. Get like a silhouette of Diet Coke and then just put Diet Keita. That's what you've got. You've got a lesser version, you know? Imagine, you know, you've got a good example, right? So you've got the new Creed films, right? And of course, Adonis Creed's a good fighter. But he's Baby Creed. He's nowhere near the level that Apollo Creed was. That's the point of it. Do you get what I mean? You're the baby version.
I haven't seen the second one, actually.
No, I haven't.
I need to see that.
K to zero, yeah.
Creed is stronger than Apollo Creed.
Sorry?
Baby Creed is stronger than Apollo Creed.
What do you mean he's stronger?
Like, movie-wise, yeah? Like, in the movie, Creed, his son, is stronger than his father.
Is he?
But he's okay. But if we're gonna look at, I haven't seen Creed 2, the second Creed film. I love it, by the way. But in the fictional world of Rocky, Apollo Creed is Muhammad Ali. That's
Wow.
he literally is Muhammad Ali in the film. So the point is that if Muhammad
Oh,
Ali,
this
you're
is
never gonna
great
get that
play.
level.
Oh, unlucky.
That looked nasty.
Unlucky.
But yeah,
Unlucky. That was great play.
He could have hurt himself there.
Yeah.
Herrera. Do you know when Herrera's hurt? I can never take him. I always think he's just trying to get a man booked or sent
Yeah.
off. You see this?
No, I think he slipped into
He
it.
slipped.
Oh, knee on knee.
Who's the foul gone against then?
I think it's gone for Fulham,
Yeah.
but he slipped. It's obviously
He
not.
slipped.
He got a second yellow card for that once. Herrera actually.
I remember
He was
that.
booked,
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
I said, Man United get the foul.
And Man United get the foul.
Yeah, we got a foul.
Because
we
Herrera
had
put the ball past
because
him. Yeah.
But
we had the
Herrera
ball, we
went
were
into
attacking.
the.
Do you know? I would actually personally,
foul.
I would give that as a drop ball
Mm.
because Fulham guy didn't win the ball, but Herrera actually made
Slipped,
the
yeah.
But Herrera slipped into the Fulham player. The
But
Fulham player cleared the ball.
do you know what it is? When things like that happen on a football pitch,
This is what we were talking about earlier.
Is this one of them contentious decisions? Yeah.
Yeah. talk about
Abs,
earlier.
can you update the score, please, on the overlay? Cheers, mate. Oh, that's a
Oh,
really
that
poor
is
cross
poor
Herrera.
from Herrera.
He's just
He
got
just
hurt.
slipped again.
Why would you let him take it?
Well played, Herrera.
You know what? People forget Herrera was United Player of the Year, like not too long ago.
Yeah.
He's not a bad player. I think.
Oh, unlucky there,
unlucky.
United. It's good. Do you know what? Really good defending there by Fulham.
Yeah.
To slow that play down. 36 minutes on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2-0 to Manchester United, courtesy of actually two wonderful goals from the French youngsters in our side. Of course, the world-class, the wonderful Paul Pogba. And then Tony Martial scoring, for me, one of the very best goals of the season, one of the best individual goals you will see.
Unlucky.
And I don't know how to explain to my son that he picks the ball up in his own half and ends up scoring.
Oh, well
Phenomenal.
played.
What's he giving that for?
Is it a
It's
stamp?
a stamp.
Oh,
If that's a stamp,
The amount of fouls Fulham are committing against Man United and their late challenges. Come on, ref. You've got to start cautioning some of these boys, then.
do you know what? Apart from the opening couple of minutes or so, we've been comfortable in this game. We've played some good football.
We have. And
Yeah,
but like we said,
comfortable.
they came out Fulham
Yeah.
like a ball in a china shop. They tried to unsettle us. And all you have to do is stay calm in that situation.
Yeah.
That's a red card. I'm
that's
sorry.
Ooh.
That is a red card,
Ooh.
that is naughty.
referee.
Even Mitrovic seemed like he.
Oh!
That's a red card.
That's naughty.
You can't be letting them get away with fouls like that and just booking
He's booked
them.
him, yeah.
Yeah, he booked him. Referee's in a good position as well.
Well, the player there was kind of in his way. I don't know if that was Herrera. It looked like he's kind of blocked his view.
That's nasty. Again, I look at that when players do that, and I've played football. I just feel that's leaving something on a man. You can
Yeah.
you can stop yourself
You
from
know what
doing
you're
that.
doing.
You know you
Yeah,
can.
you know what you're doing.
Man, I was running around playing with my son once, and I went in for a slide tackle, and I went in a bit too hard, and I was going to clatter him, but I pulled myself out of it. I've
Yeah.
played. I know I can hurt someone, or I can pull out of a challenge, and you
Yeah.
know. And referees, that's the kind of thing referees have got to stop.
See, now, if VAR was in.
I did. I nearly I would have broke my son's leg. I went to slide in for the ball, and I went in with a lot of force, but I slid a lot more on the grass than I thought I was
Yeah.
going to. And I was going towards him, and I just thought, oh my God, I'm going to kill him. He's only 4. But I managed,
How you start taking the point, Rod?
but as I slid in, I
Hey.
didn't think I would get that much. Like, I thought there'd be more friction on the grass, but there was not. I was, and I was going to take him out, all 13 and a half stone of me. And he's 4 years old. But I managed to stop. I did hit him, and he went over, but I took so much of the blowout. That's why when I see professionals, they do stuff, and their fans go, oh, he couldn't pull out, he couldn't stop. I'm like, I know you're lying. I know you're
That
lying.
competitive edge, yeah.
But yeah, I would have broke my son's heart. I would have killed him. I'm sorry, Archie. I love you. But in all fairness, he loves that sort of, my son loves like that sort of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, he comes up to me sometimes and goes, Daddy, punch me. I'm like, what? he goes, I like that. He actually says to me, he goes, but
Your son has issues.
no, he doesn't have issues. He doesn't. His rationale makes sense. His rationale makes absolute sense. He gets hit and he's like, it hurts, but then I get used to the pain and it makes me tougher. And I'm like, okay, go on,
Marcel.
United.
Go on, Marcel.
Go on, United.
Oh, lucky.
Oh, so close. So close. Do you know what? I really want Matter to get a goal today as well, though. Because players like Matter haven't done so well under Ollie. A bit like I was saying with Tony today, who's been brilliant. They just need a goal and a performance to up their levels a bit.
See with Massa,
to up their levels a bit.
I like him as a player. He just doesn't work because you see, Delo is covering our right hand side.
Yeah,
He's covering our right hand side completely.
decline.
And
Matt is the number.
I don't know what he's
10.
doing.
Matt
Yeah, and
needs
the
to
thing
play,
is,
if he needs to play centrally,
but he can't
for me.
because he's getting in the way of Pogba. Then if he plays number 10,
I think Matt's time is
It's
coming
up.
to a close, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's over for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you'll need to replace him. I think
Yeah.
you'll need to have another creative type player to
Go
take
on.
his place.
Oh, lucky.
What are you doing? Was
Oh, Phil Jones!
What was on that contract?
The new contract. I'm telling you, players play well after they've just signed a new
What a
contract.
hit with his left foot.
Yeah. Wow.
Bro, he couldn't even do that if this was FIFA.
Nah.
He's never going to hit something like that again. Babbles all over the place.
I nearly said something so bad then it got me in so much trouble. I'm so glad I didn't. Oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't say that.
It's like every week. Tony's saying the same thing. I think you have to put Phil Jones on free kicks now.
You might have to.
Left foot.
Maybe back on corners.
On corners.
Maybe LBG was right. Maybe
that's one of
LBG
the
was
strangest
right.
things I've ever
Yeah.
seen in
You know,
football.
sometimes you think, what did he see in training that made him think that was? Do you know what I mean?
Do you reckon it was a bet?
Yeah, he had bets on Phil
Yeah.
Jones like to get an
They
assist
get
from a
those
corner or
requested
something.
bets.
Yeah,
Phil Jones to take 2 corners.
Lovely. Oh, unlucky.
but we had it at the Euros with for England. Harry Kane taking corners.
Oh, that's just him pulling
How's
rank.
that a foul?
He's like, I'm star man, I get to take corners. Remember when Thierry Henry used to take our corners?
Yeah,
Arsenal?
yeah, I
What are you
remember.
doing?
Yeah.
Get up.
Yeah, it's a foul, to be fair.
It's a foul, but go on.
Go on. Oh!
Lukaku's ball. They're into. Oh, come on, United. Come
Go
on.
on.
Still got a
Come
chance,
on.
Still got a bit overload there.
Oh, how's that not a foul on Pogba though?
Yeah, I think Chambers is he's playing a bit close to the line there.
Come on, there, Pogs. Pogba's just.
He's having fun.
Yeah, he is. He's just absolutely.
Oh, lucky did I. Oh, but I like that.
That looked like a rugby conversion.
Yeah.
The way he even hit that.
Yeah. But I noticed that Delo's getting a lot of attacking positions.
Yeah.
A lot. I like that.
What made him even think he could do that?
I don't know.
That was saved as well.
Yeah, well saved, yeah.
New 4-year contract made him think he could do
Yeah.
that. Got a new 4-year
Goal
deal.
bonus, yeah.
yeah. Maybe that's why his wages never really went up. He just
Yeah.
put a fat goal bonus in there.
Yeah.
For, right, I'll show you.
Exactly.
Oh, come on, mate. Oh, I knew that was coming.
If Fulham get one back before half time, it could be a bit.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, this is very, very true.
I think Fulham now have conceded an average 2 goals per game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's shocking. You're never going to stay up with that.
Nah.
What was Matic booked for?
That foul.
Persistent fouling,
But
I
yeah.
think.
Does that mean he's going to miss the next game, or is it?
No,
No,
because
they-
after
they
New
set
Year,
him
it
up,
goes up
yeah.
to whatever
Yeah.
you're on. You have to reach 10.
That's poor.
Ooh.
Oh,
Go on, Lukaku. Make that. Pressure him. Make that. Make that.
just for a second there, I stopped breathing.
Keepers. Oh, come on.
You have to talk to each other there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good save.
David De
Good
Gea
save.
there, nice
Good
comfy
You know
save.
what I like about De Gea as well? He catches those.
Yeah.
There's none of this flashy,
Mm.
punch it out.
Yeah.
Catches them.
Yeah.
Got to talk to each other, man, though. Gotta
Second
talk
best
to them,
goalkeeper in the league, Mr. Leno, would never have done that.
yeah.
That's a corner right now. We're still under pressure.
Oh, come on, Martial. Got to protect the ball there. Play Luke Shaw.
It's lovely by Luke Shaw.
Well played,
He's
Luke Shaw.
driving.
Go on.
Just
Go
keep
on,
Go
going.
on, just
no
keep
one's
going.
with
Just
you.
keep going.
It's a good
Oh,
ball.
played.
Oh,
Well
what a
played.
play. Come on, overlap. There's an overlap here. If we use it.
Oh, he could have played that in. He took too long to play that ball out. That's not a bad ball.
Oh,
Ooh,
unlucky.
Unlucky Lukaku.
there.
Unlucky
That was
Lukaku.
nice, Lukaku.
Unlucky. Yeah, we just need to just we need to
Fulham
score
just can't
goals,
get
man.
out,
Yeah,
man.
we need to score goals, man. Just boost up our goal difference, which has already been
Yes, because
boosted a lot.
that could end up being an
Yeah,
extra point.
exactly.
That could be an extra point. And that's
That's
another
great ball,
advantage
yeah.
that City have over Liverpool right now is that goal difference.
Yeah.
Go on, Delo.
Oh, he's
Lovely
done him.
Delo. Oh, not a corner though. It's good defending by Fulham there.
Really have high hopes of Delo.
Yeah, I
He looks
do.
good
I
now.
do. I like
Good
him.
attacking. I think
But
he
he just needs games.
yeah, he needs to work more on his defensive play, but he's good attacking. Like, just see it out till half time.
Yeah, I think you're comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Fulham really ain't. They're not creating anything.
I think the second half will probably be similar to the first. Fulham will come out again, and it'll just be for United. I think United get the next goal, and that's it.
Yeah, kill the game off.
Kills the game off. And
then slow it down.
Yeah,
that's not a bad ball.
Oh, lovely Smalling. That's great defending.
Got to stop these suppliers though. They're getting a lot of crosses in.
They're crossing it from deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just aiming for Mitrovic, aren't they? They're playing Jose football.
Yeah.
Just get it in the mix up.
Jones have handled him pretty well, to be fair.
They have, to be fair.
They had a bit of trouble at the beginning of the half, but...
Has he had a shot?
Yeah.
He had one shot.
Well, he could have had a penalty. I'm still
potentially
not 100% on that one.
Do you know what someone said it? I tweeted out, how do I explain to my son that Martial scored from here, right? And some guy's gone, tell him, look at the space in front of him, fantastic goal, but awful defending. But that's also what, again, I always find that's what people do.
Go on, Martial, play it in.
And that's an Arsenal fan who said that rivals, you know what we said earlier, they won't congratulate a lesser team for performing well. But equally, when you see a player with Martial's talent score, again, goals like Martial just scored there, like you don't see them every week. No. They're a rarity, and they go to a very special catalogue of players that have done that. But then rivals of major top 6 clubs will all turn around and be like, well, it's bad defending, it's bad... Like, it works the other way. When Man United do well, the rivals are like, yeah, but it's only Fulham, but it's bad defending, but it was bad this, bad that. You very rarely... The best football fans, I suppose, they just don't want to congratulate a team for doing anything well. And
haters gonna hate. That's what it is. Haters gonna hate.
Touch.
Just phenomenal. I heard some grandma died yesterday. Cadet.
Cadet.
I don't actually know who he is.
Oh,
someone just.
Yeah, taxi.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, passenger in the taxi. Yeah, it was mad. This morning, I heard it.
I don't know who the guy is. I just see it. I saw 2 things trending on Twitter. I saw candidate and then candidate. Cadet. Sorry. But it's, you know, it is. I think people wouldn't know when I had to spell his name. So like, I saw 2 different things trending, and I see this lad, and I was like, oh my god. And then I saw a car crash. And I was like, jeez, man.
R.I.P. Cadet, man. Sad.
Bless.
It's very sad, man.
Well played, Pogba. He's been man of the match, I reckon, so far.
If you want to give us a call, 0203 606 0315. Before you do that, hit the subscribe button, hit the like and share button as well. Can I turn the mic on? It's not going to make a noise? No, it won't. It's only when I turn it off. Cool. So if you want to give us a call, the number is in the description below. Let me put this out to you, Chris. As a Man United fan, halfway through the game, 2-0. Is the game over for now for you? Do you feel relaxed, or do you still think another goal is needed to completely finish Fulham off?
I was relaxed at the start of the game. Even with the team lineup, I thought we had enough quality to win this game, and the game's gone how I thought it would go. So I think another goal, and then we can relax. I don't want to. 2-0 is such a dangerous scoreline, because if Fulham get the next goal, and it's game on, and we don't really want that. So if we get the next goal, then I'll say that it's game over.
I get that. And Devo, we saw in that first 45 minutes a Paul Pogba masterclass.
I wouldn't say masterclass, because there's a few poor passes that he put in as well. I think Pogba, he came into the game a bit throughout the game. At the beginning, there was a lot of stray passes and stuff like that. But then he started to exert himself towards the end of this first half. But I think there was some really good performances there from Man United. They weathered the storm in the first 15 minutes where Fulham were throwing themselves forward. I think defensively, Smalling and Jones, as much as people laugh at them, they've really held Mitrovic to 1 chance, I think. 1 chance only. Martial's come into the game. Lukaku's had some good touches. I think it's been a very good team effort.
Absolutely.
For Man United, more so than anything.
Personally, I think Pogba's the orchestrator in that. Yeah, I think at first fit, of course, there have been a few wayward passes, but if we're very critical, you can find the best performances in the history of Zidane's career and Henry's career and Messi's, and I bet you'll find some wayward passes in those games.
Don't know about Messi.
In those games as well. If you really were to scrutinise, I think you would. I think Pogba's been phenomenal. His goal was great from open play, and we were saying as well that's. We were saying earlier in play there, if my screen would just work and move up and down. I don't know why it's not. Has my computer crashed? Maybe. I'm just trying to move this screen a second. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, it's how many? That's five assists and like 7 goals during the Ollie reign for Paul Pogba. Now, yes, some of those goals have been penalties, but he steps up and performs. And then we see this individual piece of brilliance by Martial. In terms of like goal of the season, Premier League great goals, where does that rank for you?
Man, there's been some good goals this season. It was a really good goal. It was a great goal. I wouldn't say it's been one of the goals of the season, because there's been some really good goals this season. Different types as well, team efforts, long range strikes, you know, runs and finishes. But yeah, that's Martial at his best. That's what you want to see from Martial. That's the kind of thing that Man United fans and pretty much no one else will want to see week in, week out from him. Just really going at defenders, and you know. And what I liked, I said before as well, he didn't go down when the challenge came in. He could have dived and got the free kick, but he continued and he wanted to score the goal, and he did, and it was a great finish.
There we go. We've got a caller we're going to get on the air now to get their opinions and viewpoints on that first half. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
The Terrace, Hugo.
Hello, Hugo. Who do you support, mate?
I support Arsenal.
Good man.
I've just been watching
You're a gooner.
the Manchester United game.
As it stands right now, Man United have moved back inside the top 4. How would you rate the performance so far from the Red Devils?
It's overall it was a good performance. I'd say that the manager, I think he's the man now. I think you should just stick with him, because you can just see, like, I think a few videos before you said something like, after Mourinho sacking, the pressure was on Pogba to see like what he would become. Like now you've got the freedom to play, and you can see 10 goals. In his first time, he's hit 10 goals in his career, and he literally just dominates the midfield when he plays. I just can't wait to see the big clash in the Champions League and how that will go down.
Of course, and look, Pogba I think has had good performances against Arsenal and Spurs, and we're going to get some. He's going to have some real big tests coming up against Paris Saint-Germain, City, Chelsea away, Liverpool of course. But yeah, like many fans said what you've alluded to there, that when Jose was removed, there were no more excuses from Paul Pogba. Myself and many other Man United fans had faith in him, but he had to go out there and deliver. He had to be the £89 million player that United purchased. He had to be the guy that's worthy of having emojis and words changed. To have the word Pog put in front of them, and when you're that kind of person, you have that flamboyant nature. When you have that media presence, and you have and you're that socially recognisable. For me to have credibility in doing that, you have to deliver on the pitch, and I think Jose was a massive hindrance in that. But he has now stepped up. He's done himself proud. His family proud. The Preston club proud as well.
What happens with Sanchez?
What do you mean?
Is he not? So it's Lukaku's playing out wide. I think Lukaku in this position, he's actually decent. Like, it's not like just before the half there was a chance where he just crossed in the ball, and the keeper just got to that. I feel like basically the United team have bought into the ideas of what the manager wants. I don't think there's going to be like even I feel like even let's say you lose one of the games to the big City or PSG or something, I don't think they would collapse and there would be like a disaster or something like that. I really feel like United right now they're a scary team. They got young players. If they could get maybe one more person in for the front three, so they could make a Rashford, Martial, and another winger to make it like a fluid front three. Listen, it would be very scary.
No, I get that completely. And
I think they're a couple of players away from being
really and they need that. And I think the likes of your Sanchez, whether Sanchez and Lukaku both stay is another question, because I think that they will be fringe players moving forward in terms of when we rotate to rest, as per today, when there's League Cup game, FA Cup games, maybe slightly easier Premier League games at home, they'll start. However, it's whether, and this is what I say to fringe players, I believe under the system with Ollie that if you come in and play well and perform, you can move back into being the main man again. And it's whether or not these players have the minerals to do that. And aside from poor football under LVG and Jose Mourinho, we saw too many players that were not up for the fight at the club. Like, for instance, Angel Di Maria got replaced and dropped for Ashley Young for a very small period of time because Ashley Young, for those few games, was in great form. And I will never support the notion that any player is undroppable if another individual is playing brilliantly well. What you need from your players, and then you need your fans to back this notion, and maybe they will under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They didn't with the previous. One second, let me finish. What you need to have is players that have the minerals to stand up and fight for their worth and fight for the position in the team, because that creates what you need in terms of meritocracy. People get in on merit, they get in on form, and it isn't just about the name that you have. Maybe that's now going to be easier with a manager that's playing attacking football, because the fans will be more on side and they won't support the downing tools that players have done in the past.
That's true.
Mate, I appreciate your call. Thank you very, very much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Good call there.
But I think you need that. Players need to know that if they do perform, they can get into the team, because that just creates competition, and healthy competition, and a want to be at your best level. Because if you come in a team, you've seen it many times at many clubs, you come in and you play good for 6 games, and then whoever was injured comes straight back in, and you think, well, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? So when they do get a chance, they just run around getting their money.
I always remember, you remember when Gary Neville was on the bench and Michael Owen scored the last-minute winner against City, and he went running down the pitch, and he got in trouble because the FA were like, "Oh, you shouldn't have run down there and celebrated." And Harry Redknapp defended it and said that he's had players on the bench, even when all 3 substitutes weren't being used, that were almost asleep, hats down, collars up, not even bothered about what's going on the pitch. And he was talking about how that type of player attitude, he would look at it and basically say, I don't want to use you. You're not the kind of man. Even if you can't come on because all 3 subs are used, I expect you to be watching your teammates, watching the game, learning, cheering them on, supporting them, getting into it. And that says a lot about a person's character. And I see that a lot with modern day footballers. If they're out the team for a little while, straight to the agent, get me a new club. I'm not happy here, get me out. And like I've said before, there are lots of circumstances. Sometimes a manager might be unfair to them. Maybe they do feel like they're being bullied or forced out. And those things need to be discussed. But it's like I never support player power. It's all about the club. It's all about the passion. And if you're on the bench for 3 games and then you get an opportunity, don't sulk when you come on the pitch. Go out there and go and prove the manager wrong. Go and prove I was the right. And I've said this before about my career. I've had many jobs where I haven't been promoted. Wanted the promotion, didn't get it. But then you have 2 options, and your bosses watch you. How do you respond after not getting a promotion? Do you carry on to be that shining example, supporting your team, working hard every day, or do you go into your shell and say, screw them? Because I guarantee you that's part and parcel of your progression in your career, whether you're in corporate world, construction world, academic world, or sports. How you handle and take knockbacks is so important. And I think that football fans, when they're unhappy with the manager, will support players all day long in downing tools and not trying hard, because it gets to them what they want as fans, that manager gone. Where when it's the other way around, it's a bit like the game Deal or No Deal. You always want to find the small numbers when you haven't dealt. As soon as you deal, the game changes and you're begging for it to be a top number. And that's football fans in a nutshell. It's like, if they love the manager, they'll always back him. But it's once they turn on the manager, the players can do no. Even if the players are doing wrong, they support that bad behaviour because it serves their purpose. And I just try not to bend on those moralities there. But that's just me.
You know what I don't get about Deal or No Deal? There's people that stand there for 2 weeks and they don't get called up.
Yeah, I know.
So you got to take 2 weeks off work and then you get £1 at the end. Imagine
that. You know what frustrated me about that game? This whole like power of thought can make you have the big number. It's like, no, it's randomly given out. One of you's got it, one of you hasn't. Just go boom, just open these boxes. It doesn't, like, just because your favourite number's 17 doesn't mean 17 is going to happen. It's just pot luck. Like, but the way they dramatise that show, like, oh, everyone clap and cheer and maybe it'll be a good number. It doesn't matter if you clap or cheer or if you all boo. That number is in there. Like, it doesn't miraculously. I used to have these thoughts when I was younger, like, oh, if I watch a Man United game and I'm not wearing a Man United top, if we lost, I was like, it's because I didn't wear the top. It's like, no, we lost because we didn't play well enough. Me, where the seat I sat on or the game I went to, or how I travelled. It has no bearing on anything. You know, this isn't the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like Chris got up half an hour later, and it upset the universe so badly that Man United conceded 3 goals today.
In the second half. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. Just because Chris got here like
Don't
5
move
minutes
from
later
there.
than he said he would. Chris's fault. There are some numpties that believe that stuff.
Yeah.
There are some numpties that believe that genuinely. Genuinely.
I've got an interesting stat for you. At this moment in time, as it stands, Phil Jones, after signing his contract, has got as many assists as Naby Keita and Ozil this season.
Brilliant.
You know what?
Brilliant.
He might have as much as Mesut Ozil by the end of the season. I don't think he's going to play too many more games.
This is very, very true. That's funny. That's great. That's an amazing stat. Stat of the year. Stat of the year.
That's going to be misleading. Shout out. Stats.
You know
what else is overrated? Stats, math, and democracy. All overrated according to.
Do you know what? I want to see him come on second half. I want to see Fred come on for Pogba second half.
Yep.
I want to see Fred come on for Pogba. I want to see Sanchez come on for Martial. Yeah, I want to see.
I think Martial's one of the ones you want to keep on just to get him.
Yeah, he can get goals,
really
but
Fulham
I
in
just
this
don't.
game.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't want injuries.
Yeah.
So if he can like get a second goal, like within the first 10-15 minutes of the second half, then bring him off. Because I want Sanchez to come on, because I think this is the kind of game that those players like Sanchez, Fred, could actually build some confidence in, because Fulham are there for the taking.
Turn the mic off.
I think Fred is definitely going to play a role in this game. I think
yeah.
Sanchez as well.
Yeah. Fulham are there for the taking, and this is just to build up their
Fred
confidence.
isn't there. Fred's not on the bench.
He's not even on the bench.
No.
Oh wow.
The Man United bench, just to read this out for everyone, is Bailly, Sanchez, Rashford, Lingard, Young, McTominay, Romero. If we don't need to, I wouldn't want to use either of Lingard or Rashford.
no.
I would throw on Sanchez.
And McTominay.
I would give McTominay a go, and I'd probably throw Bailly on at some point as well.
Yeah.
Like it's if you're 3-0 up, you're kind of cool doing that. That gives Bailly some more game time. If you can get Rashford and Lingard going into the game against PSG, pure fresh. And also, I don't want to throw Rashford over 10 minutes, because then it's like people use it's a game with no goal next to it. Like,
and it gives me 1 point in my dream team.
Exactly.
Same. Just keep him on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that though. Martial.
Even if Fulham do get one back, I could see Man United.
Yeah.
You know, because I think
we've got levels to go.
Yeah, I think Man United could go up a couple levels.
Yeah. Again, with Martial's performance today, you can't see him now not starting against Paris Saint-Germain. So maybe him and Pogba being brought the two, and maybe Matic coming off. That would be the most important.
Maybe Matic, because obviously he's got a yellow card as well.
But you could even bring Ashley Young on if we're 3-0 up in a more advanced position.
I wouldn't even bring Ashley Young on. I like Delon. I let Delon.
No, but you put in an advanced position. If you need to.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
what you want to see. That's good.
See, it's good play.
Then this is where you like Delon, because Delon would just drive at these guys now.
Pogba's made the run.
He cut inside. Thanks, mate. Well done. Cheers for doing that to me.
Curse that.
Yeah. That's a
handball.
I looked it.
That's a nothing ball. That.
I kept it in. Oh, go on. Oh wow. Oh wow.
Oh,
go on. If we score from this,
and ball. That's terrible defending.
Oh my days! That time stood still there.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, boys.
You know, like when you get those moments, that's why I'd struggle to be like a football commentator, because actually I can do it when it's only when it's my team.
Yeah, I could.
Because you're like,
yeah.
Remember there's one, who was it, a West Brom fan, a geezer started crying.
Yeah.
They lost 7-1 or something, and he started crying at the end.
Come on, United. You're an overlap here. That's it.
I thought he was going to hit that.
See, a good winger.
I can see this being 4 or 5.
Go on. Pogba was there.
Yeah, the way you
Pogba was there. Unlucky. Yeah, I can see us,
Chris Smalling and Phil Jones.
Yeah, they're just
comfortable.
Yeah, they've had him in their pocket.
Yeah, comfortable.
Mitrovic. He's had nothing.
Yeah.
Who's on Fulham's bench? Is there anyone on there who can...
They've got
Fulham's bench.
Some guy that's done the most dribbles for Fulham in their team. I think it flashed up earlier. Have they got Sessegnon on the bench?
Sessegnon's on the bench.
Yeah. Well played, though. Good defending.
Oh, they've not got much on the bench, though.
No, who they got on the bench?
Sessegnon, Cabano, Kearney.
Kearney, that's the one.
Zambo,
that's the one that's done the most dribbles.
Aite.
Yeah.
and Cyrus Christie.
Yeah, not much. Not much.
Thing is, as well, with Fulham, they've put a lot of money into this to try and stay up. I think they've gone the wrong way in terms of too much investment too soon.
Yeah.
And you go down, how many of these players are going to stay?
Especially when you get promoted. So what, Wolverhampton Wanderers, I was involved in a lot of what was going on there. They made a lot of investment every year, and again, a lot of their it's become part of the course. But when they got promoted, they kept, they signed a few players, but they kept a core group of individuals, and there was no shocks that the changes came in with Fulham. So those players got you promoted, and you dropped so many of them for these new stars. It creates a little bit of animosity, and it's that, well, they're going to leave if we get promoted. So it's almost like mercenary FC. Like they're here for us to try and keep us in. And I think what they should have done is sign 2 or 3 of these quality players, kept that core group. And then, if they survive or whatever happens, then maybe a big investment. You've given these guys an opportunity to play in the Premier League.
And they signed about 4 players on transfer deadline as well. They've got, 2 goalkeepers they brought in, 4 or 5 defenders.
Load. They signed loads.
It's insane.
Yeah.
If you look at the goalkeepers in this starting 11, goalkeeper, left back, centre back, Callum Chambers, the 2 central midfielders, Schürrle,
Fosse Mensah as well.
They're all of those are new. It's insane. But I was talking about Wolves the other day, and I think Wolves they scare me.
Wolves
in terms of
catching you up.
Yeah.
They could.
Within the next few years.
They could.
The way they want to do things at their club, and people have got to remember why why the Espirito Santo chose them. He turned down Champions League clubs that came in from big clubs because of what they're building there. And again, I was privy to be able to sit there and talk to the owners, chairman, all types of bodies there, and they have some real plans. They want to become a Champions League team. They want to compete. But they're doing it steadily. They're doing it slowly. They've got great relationships with top agents, especially with Jorge Mendes. And they're not going to stop. And, of course, some of their players might be wanted by bigger clubs. But they have the spending capacity to keep hold of these guys. There's no doubt about it. And they, because of the connections they've got, if they lose Ruben Neves, as an example, they will be able to go out and get somebody in his equal quality. And they have a footballing philosophy, which is to play a certain way. So they go after players that are delivering and can do a certain thing on the ball. And again, they still haven't improved massively. Like they need some better defenders. I think they've got some good ones, but they need better ones. They probably need to improve the midfield. You know who's really impressed me at Wolves this year, though, and I can't believe a Premier League team hasn't come in from earlier, is João Moutinho. Like he has been. I think he's got like 6 or 7 assists in the Premier League this year.
In the last few.
Oh, games, that's lovely touch and turn by Lukaku.
Oh, I thought he was gone there. I thought it was going to Martial.
Yeah, he ain't got that range. See, Pogba's having fun. He's having fun now.
Torreira just can't do that. Torreira just can't do that.
He's having fun.
That's a drifty comment. That's just a drifty. That's nice football. Switch the play. Get it to Martial now. First time.
Look for Lukaku. This is the thing. Lukaku, if this was Everton, that's going in the box looking for. Do you know what I mean?
That's a push, ref.
That's a good ball.
He's
done it. Has he?
I like it. Good play, United. Good
brother.
play. Good play, United.
Beautiful.
I think Ollie's told him, go get the 3rd goal, finish his team.
Fulham are there for the taking.
Yeah, they're there for the taking, mate.
It's on the TV tonight, Rocky Free.
It's
on the TV tonight, Rocky Free, but there's a word in it that I want. Mr. T said it in the film. It's one of my favourite things to ever say during sport. I want to see it from Man United. I want a lot of more. A lot more. I want to see a lot of. My coach used to say it to us. I never knew where he said it from. And then I watched Rocky when I was young. I was like, oh, that's
he's offside, isn't he?
Offside.
Yeah.
Miles offside.
That's where you stole it from Mr. T. But it's true. I want a lot of more.
I like that.
I like it. I think it's good.
That's a good ball.
Fulham.
He's got nothing. Oh, Callum.
See, that's the quality there.
Is he a centre back, Callum?
Yeah, by trade.
Why is he all the way up there?
He played central mid for Southampton quite a bit.
Did he?
He could play right back, central. I think that's why Wenger wanted him.
Yeah.
Right back, centre back, DM. He's done really well for Fulham this season in midfield, though.
Look at Sanchez and Romero. Look at him like, who's this guy?
Sherlock. Oh, he's taken off.
Wow.
Do you know what's funny
So
with,
he brought on a right back.
with Premier League footballers, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee there's a good 60-70% that you could sit next to on a train, you wouldn't know they were footballers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You think about how big and powerful the brand is, but there's only a handful that are like anyone at your club you'd recognise.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get that. But then you go to other clubs and there's bench players at like Fulham today that if you bumped into them on the street, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
If that made sense.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't.
Well, that was when you were saying about players choosing London and how it's easy to just
Blend in.
like, yeah, there's a lot of
Go on,
footballers that
Martial.
probably wouldn't
good
get any
defending.
attention because there's so many other celebs and whatnot in London.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just walk down the
Well,
street.
yeah, if you're a
and no one gives a-
Newcastle player in Newcastle, because of how they idolise that club,
Oh, yeah.
you're
Yeah.
recognisable everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Unless you're a superstar player in, like I guarantee you, if Philip Anderson was out shopping in West London today,
Yeah.
unless a West Ham fan sees him, no one will bother
No.
him.
Yeah.
I actually bumped into Big Sam up in West End a few weeks
is
ago.
it?
He was shopping. And I went, Big Sam. He went, you're right. Suspending all that compensation. He just laughed, and I was like, yeah, sweet. Yeah, sweet. It's funny, actually. I watched this interview these guys did in a car, these two pros, and they were talking about Big Sam. And they were laughing a little bit of his tactical, like saying he is a long ball manager. They would have laughed.
Oh,
at
is that Van der Meijden?
Yeah,
I
but he
saw
was saying how what a great man manager
Yeah.
he is, and he was saying how the guy that's
I think Van Aanholt.
Van Aanholt, yeah.
Yeah.
He was saying how like he was feeling a bit tired and he let him go home and he managed him well and he maybe so it's like the man management skills of Allardyce are there. Tactically, we know they're not where people want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you got to get things right. I look at someone like Silva at Everton.
Yeah.
I think he tactically knows how to manage, but I don't think he's great with the man management side. I think you need to have both nowadays, especially with the way players are. You need to have it, but it shows that like Big Sam, for all he is a good man manager, and people respect him, even though his tactics are a little bit
Well, they were saying
one-dimensional.
that he didn't even show up on the training ground. Like he would just show
Yeah, I've
up
heard that.
like a day before the game, and
Yeah.
like, this is what we're gonna do, and then just leave his coaches to it on the training ground.
So you need a good team behind you as a manager. You need a good
Well,
team.
all I would
Even the
say,
greatest,
all I would
yeah.
say about that is he got brought into so many teams in the last 5 or 6 years, Allardyce, to stop them from being relegated, and it was successful. So whatever he does,
Yeah, but it's
works.
going up that next level, isn't it? Because Allardyce was always talking a good game about anyone.
Yeah.
You know, certain managers don't get given the big jobs and blah blah blah, and in a way it's true. But if you're going into clubs and continually keeping them up, he got his chance at Everton.
Flopped. He flops.
Although I do think Everton, again, I think they're guilty of this, just getting rid of people too soon.
Yeah.
Too much too
they
soon.
don't know.
I think they should have
Jamie
kept Coleman.
Carragher did make a really good point about Fulham. He was talking about how under every manager of the last 5 or 6, they've had massive defensive issues.
Yeah.
And it comes to a point where you can't keep blaming all different managers of different styles and different levels. All have the same problem that the defensively they've not been good enough, and there's been a few new players in.
Oh, he's looking at. Oh,
that's
I thought he was
lovely.
gonna
That's
ruin that.
what-
Yeah,
but
same.
It comes a
Body
point where you've got to
shape
look at
right
the
now,
body of players, but we don't like to do that now in football. Like the players just get away with absolute murder when they're not playing well. It's always the manager. It's always this. It's always that. I know it's easier to move a manager out. Oh, that's
nice.
lovely, Chrissy.
Smalling's playing. He's playing
Listen,
good
this
football,
whole team.
Today, yeah.
confident. What a ball!
Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, it looked like it's been
It
better
looked-
than it
didn't
was,
and it looked like maybe not.
By the way Lukaku was moving towards it, yeah.
Team's playing well, man. Team's playing well. Good professional performance from the team so far.
Yeah, man.
And they put Fulham on the back foot.
Yeah.
Straight away in
Go on now,
second half.
Pogba.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Great tackle. That's a great
Offside.
tackle.
Is that offside?
Offside.
Offside. Unlucky.
Oh, I think they got a bit lucky there because that looked like a stonewall penalty to me.
Unlucky.
I thought he got the ball.
Oh,
He is offside, just offside.
Yeah, he got the ball.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to see from that angle, but I'd like to see it close up. It doesn't matter anyway, it's offside.
Yeah.
So it becomes much of a muchness.
I just don't want him to get complacent. Just get that third goal. Come on, just get that third goal, and then that's it. You can start to have fun. Look, Fulham's heads are gone, man. They're there for the taking.
One thing I do love about Craven Cottage, oh my God.
Wow.
United fan, Jesus. Some people do love their club.
Way too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on getting tattoos of your club?
I wouldn't be adverse to it. I've got a friend who's got an amazing It's like there's a picture that was painted, and it was of like Man United legends.
Yeah.
All their backs facing, walking off a pitch, and he had that like tattooed on his back. It looks amazing.
Okay.
Part of my sleeve, I didn't get it on this one, but the
Mm.
second sleeve I'm getting, Man United will feature in it in some way, shape, or form. I'm not quite sure how and where, but yeah, I like it. It depends what it is. I wouldn't just have like the colour of the badge on my arm there.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I don't like tattoos like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But if people like them, that's down to them, I suppose.
Imagine if you was like a Wimbledon fan. Yeah, Wimbledon badge tattooed on your arm, and the geezer want to move them all to him.
Yeah, but then equally, like a lot of those fans still support. Like that's why they like him. AFC Wimbledon now. Yeah.
Come on the attack. On the counter.
Pogba!
Pogba!
Yeah, that's.
Go on, Pogba.
You couldn't even foul him properly.
Oh, come on.
It's a good ball.
Oh.
Control that.
You know what? It's funny there, right?
If that was Lukaku.
If Lukaku did that, it'd be a meme. It'd be a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
That's
would. It really would. Or that touch was by Lukaku.
Yeah.
It'd be a meme. And like I say, you only focus on it because you're waiting for Lukaku to have a bad touch. With Phil Jones as the defender, you're waiting for that mistake, as opposed to just watching the game.
Oh, come on. Let's get that third goal.
The interesting thing with Fulham is they haven't come out looking for it yet. They haven't come out going, right, we've got... They attacked more in the first half when it was 0-0.
Yeah.
I think the way United started the second half has kind of knocked them for 6. I don't think Fulham were expecting that.
Come on, ref. Ref, come on.
United are blaming
Thank you.
for third.
Yeah.
Rather than just sitting on the 2.
Which puts them in two minds because they think, oh, do we then go at it? And because if they go at it and leave that space...
Oh, they could get snaps.
But you know what, the thing is, Fulham's goal difference is shocking already. So I don't think another 2 goals is really going to make much of a difference.
No,
true.
it's not.
I mean, I think only Huddersfield is worse.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Huddersfield. They're just not cut out for this.
No.
Do you know what I say to them? The amount of fouls committed, I haven't looked at it statistically. I'm going to go and look at it statistically because it's annoying me now. Where are the match stats on this? Where are the stats? Why is there no stat page?
Oh, come on, man. Why'd you do that for? Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done.
That Luke Shaw.
Yep.
Fulham need something, and there's not. That's a good turn.
That's it. He's off. He's off.
Ball.
Go on. Go on, Martial.
Where's the support?
Oh. Go on, Paul.
Do him in a shoot. I think it was just one Pogba to take it on his right and try and bend it in.
United. Come on.
There's too much walking.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, it's because United are taking it too easy. They're taking it so easy.
I suppose they look at it, but the good reason, the good element of playing like this for United is that you're not really exhausting any energy, which means even if you don't score any more, it's not a good enough cross.
His delivery's poor, isn't it?
Luke Shaw, awful.
His delivery's poor.
Awful. He needs to work on. He needs to work on his game.
The great thing for Luke Shaw is that he's had a lot of opportunities this year, and you really get to see what a player's about. Like before, there was always he needs a run of games. He's had that run of games. I think he's good, but
Go on, Paul.
I don't see a player in Luke Shaw that I think is going to go on to be like a Dennis Irwin or
come on, ref! You got the ball.
A Dennis Irwin or a Patrice Evra.
No.
He's not, and that's the standard you've got to aim for at Man United. For me, I think we need to move away from but he puts a shift in, or he's all right though. That's okay for a backup.
Exactly.
You need better than that.
You need better than that. Yeah.
How much did you put down for him? Was it
27 million.
27, yeah.
I think that's an area you could definitely upgrade.
What, left back? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dalot could be our right back for the next at least minimum 5 years. But yeah, left back definitely could do with an upgrade. Trying to think who's out there. Chilwell, yeah, I was going to say Chilwell.
There's a lot of talk he's going to Man City.
Yeah.
That's a good ball.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Who's that?
Chilwell.
It's a great ball.
That is an amazing part. Is that Phil Jones?
Good touch as well.
Go on. Lukaku.
You never had any faith in him, did you?
Oh, no, he didn't at all.
Knew that ball weren't gonna make it.
Oh, Lukaku. That was on his stronger foot as well, on his left foot.
You got to find that pass there.
Got to. Well done. Well done for fighting back. Well done for fighting back, though.
How did Lukaku get all the way over there?
I'll give you that. Mate, I'm clapping him, man.
Man must have been chasing a burger or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was running
The hot
after.
dog man must have been in the stand.
Well done for fighting back, though. That's what Ollie's instilled in the players now, to fight back for the ball.
But remember, have hope, don't like running.
Yeah. Go on, 1-2, 1-2. That's Lukaku, it's Lukaku. Steady.
1-2.
Stay calm.
1, 2, 3, what?
Yeah. What are they gonna? It's like they're toying with him. It's like, finish it! Good save.
What a save, Jesus.
It's like United is toying with him. Just put him to bed, man.
It's hard though because Fulham ain't committing too many men forwards. So it's hard
I get
to break
that,
down
but we're still getting chances though. We're still getting chances. Fulham are poor. They've got nothing. They've gone. They've gone.
The resistance is
gone. They've gone. It's almost like a training ground.
Yeah.
A training exercise.
That's poor. That's poor.
It's complacent, man. See, this is the thing. United are getting complacent. All it takes is just one goal.
Ball, lovely, nice.
All it takes is just one goal and then that's it.
Fulham have got nothing.
Yeah. It's one lucky break. See, to get this third goal, man. I'm happy that it's nice and relaxed, but I just want to see them get that third goal. Go on, Lukaku. Go on, Lukaku.
Go on, boy.
Go on, Lukaku.
Go on, boy.
Martial.
Penalty.
Take that. Well played,
Pogba's about to get
Lukaku.
another one.
Well played, Lukaku.
No disrespect. Why is he passing there?
He should have shot. See, that was reminiscent of Martial on the other side. On the other side, and it was on his favoured left foot as well.
Not give this penalty to anyone else. I'm thinking about my dream team.
Yeah, exactly. I got him as captain.
Let me see this.
Yeah,
it's a penalty.
Yeah, it's a penalty. No arguments. Well played, Lukaku. Though. Well played.
He didn't even dive. You know, get touched and go down. That was. You don't really see many like that.
He played for it.
Who's taking it? Pogba. I'm glad Pogba's taking it though.
Yeah.
You better tuck this, mate.
How many goals is this going to be for the?
You better tuck this
for the season. You better tuck this. Yeah. Better not miss this.
11 goals this season.
For the Premier League, yeah.
If he scores this.
11 in the league.
Premier League, yeah.
If he scores this.
If he scores this.
And he does.
Get in
Paul
there.
Pogba, baby.
Get in there.
Oh my God.
He doesn't miss on that side.
That puts Paul Pogba on 13 goals for the season in 29 games.
Yeah. Jeez.
Wow.
Jeez. And you got to think
11 in the league.
And he only just got started.
Who's the top goal scorer in the league? Is it still Salah?
Salah on 16, I think.
Yeah.
So, wow, he's not even that far behind.
Exactly. And he only just got started 2 months ago. Really.
Yeah, it makes you think. I've said this before, right? It makes me think how good a player and how many more goals and how many more games he would have dominated over the last 2 years with a manager playing in an attacking way. Yeah. But it's 3-0 now. The game's almost pretty much over. Let's get some substitutions in. Let's get that done. Let's
start resting players.
Can we update the overlay, please, Abs?
Game's done. Good night.
Yeah, good night, Vienna. Goals, yeah. Pogba now moves into... Oh, they haven't updated it on here yet. So he was on 9, I think. Yeah, so he's now on to 11. So he's gone level with Sadio Mane. Hazard's on 12. Kane's on 14. Aguero 14. So he's literally only like 5 goals off being top goal scorer in the league, and he's a midfielder.
That's crazy.
So Harry Kane, when was the last time Harry Kane played?
Oh, yeah, that was a few weeks ago. Though, about 3 or 4
Man
weeks. Man on.
Oh.
Free kick.
That's it. Wow.
Tell you what, the race for the golden boot's going to be interesting.
Very.
Yeah, like Pogba ain't going to win the golden boot. There's no doubt about that. But
to be in that,
be nice. Do you know what though? I wanted Pogba off, but I'd also love him to get hat trick. Midfielders don't get hat tricks a lot in the Premier League.
No, they don't. Who was the last midfielder to get a hat trick?
Is it Dele Alli?
Question. Could be.
Could be Dele Alli.
Could be. I don't know.
Could still be Frank Lampard. He's been gone ages.
Yeah. Viewers, phone in if you know the last midfielder to get a hat trick in the Premier League.
I'll just Google it. That's what someone's going to do. Try to bring out like they got the knowledge still. Like they got the knowledge.
It's Dele Alli.
Is it? Has
No,
Dele
wait,
Alli scored a hat-trick?
Yeah, I think he has.
Yeah.
This season, I think, as well.
Yeah,
Or maybe last season. Do you know what I would say as well, though? Do you know what you're going to get with people? They're going to say, yeah, he's scoring goals, but there are penalties. You know, there are penalties. And, you know, penalties don't count as goals. Remember that. Penalties are not goals. Penalties are not goals. If Salah took the penalties, he'd get even more, but then he should be a better penalty taker, and he would be.
Yeah.
If you're the best penalty taker.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought James Milner
Sanchez
was.
is coming
I
on.
think Salah's taken on this season, isn't he?
No, I think it's James Milner still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sanchez is coming on.
I mean, they get enough
Good.
of them, they can spread them around.
Yeah. True. Probably take off Martial. Rest him for the game.
Fulham looked dejected, didn't they?
Oh, yeah,
Th-
done.
Completely.
This could be huge. If United won it, they could. Really,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's do they want it or do they want to just reserve energy and save themselves?
I think Solskjaer probably telling them to, you know.
A few people here are saying.
don't.
Sorry, a few people here are saying Aaron Ramsey was the last guy to get a hat trick. A midfielder.
Really?
Someone went, Aguero did. Last midfielder. Jeez.
Ramsey.
Yeah.
When did he get?
Has he got one this?
I don't know.
Trying to think. Ramsey. No,
Ramsey.
this season.
Can't remember.
I'm going to Google it. Midfielder hat trick. Let's see what it comes out with. There's nothing.
Yeah, that might be a hard one to find.
Yeah.
The last midfielder to score a hat trick in the Premier League.
That's some Opta thing.
Comfortable.
That's nice.
I'm happy with that. All Fulham have been reduced to is Callum Chambers shots from outside the box.
He'll ping one. So, he's stay out there for another couple hours.
Just mad as well, right? That's Pogba's third brace under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like he's a midfielder, he's his third brace.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were talking about him getting onto the same levels as like your Lampards and scoring those kind of goals. Well, you know,
he's got
Martial,
this is the thing, he's got the ability
well
to do that.
Well played.
Yeah, that goal today from Martial. Sorry, like,
yeah, good game.
Well played.
Sensational.
That's the thing with Martial. When he's in front of goal, he very rarely misses.
Yeah.
He's clinical. I want Sanchez to score. I want either Sanchez or Lukaku to score, just to get their confidence up. Sanchez more so though. He hasn't really done much.
It's a weird one with Sanchez.
Yeah.
Because even at Arsenal, he weren't the same player towards the end.
Yeah.
I understand that the level of intensity you put in every performance.
Yeah.
And
Lovely.
he never rested. Do you know what I mean? I remember
Go on, Sanchez.
hearing stories of the coaching staff telling him to take it easy in training.
Because it's burnout.
Yeah.
I think the same thing happened to Wayne Rooney. I think he burnt. Some of that was he didn't keep himself as fit as he should have done.
That was a bit reckless, that challenge.
Jeez, wild.
Oh, lovely. Go on, Sanchez, boy.
Come on, Sanchez, do something. Unlucky.
He gives the ball away.
Yeah, yeah.
It's unbelievable how much he loses the ball. It's a good ball.
Good ball.
Oh, that was nice from Lukaku.
Oh, unlucky. Go on. Oh!
That's because Matt has got no pace. He didn't get there.
If you have pace. Oh.
This is going to be 4 or 5.
Yeah, come on, United.
United fans want that. It's nice to like when you go. Arsenal fans know exactly what we're talking about. When you go through that such a long period of time with such poor football, not winning games well, boring, you can't help but just smash everyone.
Yeah.
I just don't see what Fulham could possibly change.
Nothing.
To get this.
There's nothing.
That's a
Just
lovely
just
ball.
keep trying. Yeah. There's nothing they could do. Just hope they get a lucky break. I can't think of any United players put a foot wrong in this game. I think everyone's going to be getting at least minimum 7. Minimum 7.
Yeah, it's been a very good performance.
Yeah, good performance. Professional, solid. Lukaku's played well. His hold-up play's been good.
Yeah, no, it has. You can't deny that. Yeah. And this is the kind of game that will really annoy rivals because they can't have a go at anything.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to moan about. Which means it'll be very quiet on the phone lines from rival fans today, but that's good because that means they're all looking their way. And Chelsea fans, we're top 4 in front of you now.
Yep.
And you've got to beat City.
The pressure is on, Chelsea. Yeah. Have hope in your boys. The pressure is on. The Pressure is on. And to be honest, I can't see Chelsea getting a result against City. I can't see them getting a result. So I think we'll finish top 4.
And I mean, I don't even think that in a disrespectful way to Chelsea. They're just going up against
a team that's going for the league.
Yeah, exactly. They're just a level of, and it's at the If it was, they beat them at Stamford Bridge. If it was at Stamford Bridge, I would make Chelsea slight favourites.
Yeah,
but it's not. So I don't fancy them.
No, I don't fancy them.
Also, I pray they don't, because I just need Liverpool not to win the league, man.
Yeah, 100%.
I need that.
100%.
Oh, because you do as well. Like Liverpool beat Bournemouth today.
Yeah. Oh, good header.
Oh,
good
what
save.
A save, De Gea.
Comfortable. That was a comfortable save.
Very much so.
You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of that scene in Avengers when Tony Stark was fighting Thanos. And he goes, all of that just for a drop of blood. All of that.
I watched that again last night.
Yeah. Man, I've seen that film so many times. So many times. I can't wait for the new Avengers films to come out. Can't wait.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
Gassed.
Yeah.
Gassed.
Soon.
Yeah, April, man.
Yeah, man.
Gassed.
Is that Pogba coming
Pogba,
up?
yeah. Well played, Pogba. Man of the match today. Man of the match.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Fulham fans clapping him as well.
Fulham's a very respectful stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, they even have a neutral stand. The fans mix in still at that ground.
Yeah.
They've got a neutral stadium where you can just buy tickets.
Surely that can't be for every set of fans.
Well, who's their mate? Apart from
they probably stop
Chelsea.
it for Chelsea,
Yeah,
Arsenal.
Chelsea.
Scotty McTominay coming on as well. Good lad.
I hope he has a decent game, McTominay, as well. Build his confidence up.
I'm in two minds whether he's going to be good enough or not. Time will tell. But to give the kid abuse like he gets, I just find it.
Go on, Sanchez!
Sanchez is in!
Go on, Sanchez! Oh, unlucky.
that.
Unlucky.
He's got to bury that. He didn't look confident at all.
He didn't. That's what I'm saying. I want him to get a goal, man. Just boost his confidence up. This is the game for it.
That's terrible defending.
Yeah. On his stronger foot as well.
That's a good save.
Yeah.
He didn't place it. He put his laces through it. It didn't quite work. It was, and a good save as well. Like if De Gea made that save, it'd all be going well. We wouldn't even think about the attacker.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got some players back.
That's not a foul.
Nope.
Go on, Scotty. Oh, that's lovely, Torreira. Oh, what a ball!
Oh.
Catch that. I don't understand why goalkeepers do that.
Go on, Sanchez. Go on, boy. Have a bang. Sin!
Ball.
Scott! Oh!
Unlucky.
See, if the goalkeeper catches that, none of that happens.
Yeah, true.
Don't understand goalkeepers.
That is such a good ball by Sanchez, though. Just get a little dink head on it. Nearly goes in. Unlucky there from the boy.
Good play. Oh, unlucky.
Unlucky there from the boy. Abs, I've got the title ready for goal review. I'll send it across to you by WhatsApp, all right?
Not long left.
I think there's another couple goals in this for United.
There.
Well,
I think now Sanchez looks hungry.
Well, the good thing about the substitutions and the players that are left, most of the players left on, is they're fighting to try and get into the team. So they should come on and be hungry. Oh, that's a nice ball. That's unlucky. Well read there. Well read there by who's that defender?
Yes, that's Marchand.
Yeah, that was very well read. In we go. Boom. First time. Oh, play him in.
Too late. Where's he crying?
How's your touch, Jonesy? Nice. Just go home.
That's it.
Beautiful.
Comfortable.
4 years. Every time he touches the ball, that's what he shouts.
Yeah.
4 years.
4 years.
I remember that great Lee Evans joke where he's like, I'm talking about football players, and he goes, football players should be so happy when they're on 100 grand a week. He says, every footstep I take on the pitch, I'll just be counting my money. Like 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. And I was like, yeah, it's... Like, these guys live the life though. Like the money they earn is amazing.
Good ball. Great. That's a great ball. Oh my God!
Ryan Babel with.
Oh my God!
Oh wow!
Oh my God!
Oh!
Look at Ranieri's face.
Wow!
Ranieri's face.
A great cross.
Wow!
Oh,
wow!
Wow!
Your luck's just not in.
Is he taking him off now? He's actually
he's gone.
That is poor timing. That is such bad timing.
Get out of here,
Maybe
man.
that's why Ranieri had that look in his face.
Oh, that is such bad timing.
He's like, we're going to take an injured player off, but he's coming off now. Get out of here, man. Get out of town.
Wow.
Get out of town.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was a bit of a strange signing anyway.
You never know. He could have been one of those players. Because remember way back in the day, I'm going to show my age, but remember when Bolton used to just pull out them gems?
Yeah.
Djorkaeff, JJ, Kocher.
That Allardyce.
Yeah, Allardyce, yeah, he used to pull out them gems.
Yeah.
And then you had Birmingham City when they pulled off Christophe Dugarry. I was like,
man.
you got a World Cup winner.
Yeah. Them days were weird.
Mad.
And if they was to investigate a lot of those deals, I'm sure there was some dodgy deals.
100%. It's Sam Allardyce.
Agents run money, but then they also play these players.
Yeah.
Pay these players colossal amounts of money. It's like when I think QPR signed that Samba. Man was on like 110 grand a week.
That was how I read that, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's they come to these clubs, but the problem is they come for the money. They don't come for the love of the game. I think Paul Gascoigne talked about when he signed for Burnley. And they signed him on a really big amount of money for Burnley. And they also said, we'll give you a big, like 50% share of shirt sales as well. And he was buzzing about it. But then they only sold like 50 shirts or something. They're like, they thought like Burnley have got no, like they've got fans, but in the grand scheme of things, they've got a very small group of fans in that area. And outside of that, nobody else. It's okay if you're Ibrahimovic and they say, Adidas are going to give you 10% of the profits for shirt sales because you're going to sell millions of them.
Yeah.
When you're Burnley, it's not really. But yeah, a lot of these players go to these clubs because they get offered unscrupulous amounts of money.
Clinical.
And even if you're there for 6 months, you're on 100 grand a week. Yeah. You don't leave until. And often what happens is you go to a new club that's only going to pay you 40 grand, but they subsidise it. And like, so QPR, like, we'll get him off our books. We've still got to pay 50 grand a week, but it's better than paying him. So they carry on earning that money. They earn so much. But it's always an agent somewhere pulling and prodding and making them do things as well.
Harry Redknapp was good at that.
Very good at that.
Wherever he went.
He loved a good
I
deal.
think he had deals with some of these players, like the likes of like Crancho and that, in terms of he must have been earning something. But they did that. I think it was revealed, and it isn't illegal either. Like sometimes a manager would sign a player, and then the manager would have it in the contract. Well, if we sell these players, I'm earning a percentage of the profit we make. So if you bought him for 5 million, sold him for 20 million, if you're earning 10% of that, it's a nice little kicker.
Nice little change.
But equally, look at that. It can be a negative, but at the same time, it's, you know, you want to keep these players. But if you're going to sell my man, then this is what I'm going to do. Super chat here. Hand this one to Deborah. It says the 3 p.m. lineups are out. What do you think of them? So can you read out the Arsenal lineup and the Liverpool lineup for us? And see anyone have a little opinion.
The Arsenal lineup is as follows. We've got Leno in goal.
Oh. Second best
it
keeper
looks
in the
like,
world.
according to this, it looks like we've gone with a back three, but it could be different. Koscielny, Mustafi, Monreal, back three. Kolasinac, left wing back.
Hold on.
Torreira, Guendouzi, and then Maitland-Niles, right wing back. Iwobi, Mkhitaryan just behind Lacazette.
Oh, Mickey's back.
Mkhitaryan's back. He played a bit of football in the under-23s last week, and Aubameyang's out injured. So Lacazette's up front on his own.
Proper? How long is that
I don't think it's a long one. I don't think it's a long one, but he's not on the bench.
Okay.
The good thing about that is Lichtsteiner is nowhere near the team. that pensioner. I don't understand that. Liverpool's lineup. Alisson in goal, obviously. Milner right back. Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson. Wijnaldum's back. Fabinho, Keita. Salah, Firmino, Mane. I don't understand why Milner's playing right back over Fabinho. Fabinho was right back for a full season and a half in Monaco.
I read interviews Fabinho did a couple of years ago where he said he wants to play right back.
Yeah. He was a right back for Monaco for a season and a half at least. And then he got moved into central midfield because of
that's
injuries.
why when they give that as an excuse, we haven't got... there is no excuse. One, you let Klein go. And this is the thing. It isn't about always what you've got. You let Klein go and you've got Fabinho. So moaning about not having a right back, your club's making those decisions. So it's not an excuse. It's what your club are doing. It's part and parcel of it.
We got to the Champions League final with Flamini at left back.
Man United won the Champions League with Wes Brown at right back.
Yeah.
Wes Brown, bruv. Who was a centre back.
Flamini was a central mid. We had him at left back. To be fair, he performed very well. It was probably one of his best seasons for us.
Let's go, United.
Come on,
Let's get a
Sash,
fourth
let's
goal.
get it,
Let's make it nice.
Good touch.
Oh, unlucky. Oh, go on, Scotty.
Oh, that should have went back to him.
Win this.
Fulham have been dreadful.
Awful.
Yeah.
What was that? Luke Shaw again.
Yeah, his delivery is terrible.
I don't think he'll be getting a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, he couldn't work for UPS, could he?
No.
Jeez. It's one thing about Luke Shaw. It's just his delivery is just poor.
Very poor.
See, people get on at Ashley Young, saying that his delivery is poor, and I'm not saying that his delivery is. I'm not saying he's great or anything at all like that. But you got to do the same for Luke Shaw. You can't say, "Oh, Ashley Young, his delivery is poor,
Yeah.
and then not have the same criticism for Luke Shaw. Just because Luke Shaw might produce one good cross, he's still poor.
Ashley Young's delivery used to be like that. Used to be his strong point.
It used to be.
But if he's coming in from left back, you'd expect his delivery to be a little bit worse because obviously he's right-footed.
Yeah.
But
It's the only thing that
McTominay's a big lad, isn't he?
yeah, he's tall.
He's a big guy.
That's why Mourinho liked him, because he was a tall.
That makes sense.
Yeah, tall guy. Luke, what are you doing, man? Stop being complacent. Well played. Oh.
Yeah. He's had a couple since he's come on that Christie.
Yeah.
Couple little.
Little niggles, little niggles. Yeah.
Come on, Sanchez, get your goal, get your confidence up.
I think they're coasting now.
Yeah, proper.
Clean sheet's always good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Oh, that was a bit. Just for the hell of it, why not?
Have you noticed one thing as well, though? When Pogba leaves the pitch,
Yeah.
There is a difference in our overall quality going forward. You just see it.
You can see it, obviously, against Fulham, you can get away with it because they're poor.
Yeah. But he'll be nice and fresh. For
He's
the
only
PSG
made 2
game.
subs, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good ball.
Oh, good defending there.
Well
Good
defended.
That's another
Read
corner
that
to
well.
United.
Le Marchand. Such a strange name.
What's his
His
name?
name is Le, so L-E, Marchand. So it's like the Marchand. It's like,
By coming on, who's he coming on for?
Torreira.
yeah.
Oh, that's all right.
I remember Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink.
Yes, I remember that.
Name. Remember that? He's
Jeez.
consultant.
yeah.
Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink.
Yeah.
Royalty.
But you get that with like a lot of like names for in the Middle East, like things where it's something bin. How like obviously we all know Osama bin Laden, but I didn't realize that just means Osama and bin means son of, and then Laden.
I never knew that.
So if I was from that part of the world and at the same, I'd be like Terry bin Jeff.
Well
I was like, cool, yeah. Someone told me that. I was like, oh, that's what it means.
Played Herrera. What if he's going to put Jones as a midfield DM?
That's a terrible corner.
Didn't really have much to aim for.
Considering, yeah.
Oh,
well
lovely
played.
there,
Well played,
Scotty.
McTominay.
The strength.
Good ball.
Great ball.
Oh.
Great ball by Scott McTominay there. Just no one on the end of the damn
Unlucky.
thing.
Sort your hair out, mate. Come on.
It's like that. What was the name of the guy?
Jason Lee. That's who it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Who?
Jason Lee, ex-Nottingham Forest.
Oh, no, see, with his hair like that, it reminds me of Michael B. Jordan's character in Black Panther.
Oh, yeah.
About the scars.
Killmonger.
Killmonger, yeah. It's a shame they killed him, really, because he'd have been really good now. Because they
Spoilers. I've seen it.
I've seen Black Panther, it's
Who
fine.
hasn't seen Black Panther yet? Who hasn't seen
Yeah, to be fair,
if you haven't
yeah,
seen
if
Black
you've not seen
Panther
it,
now,
yeah.
shut your mouth.
Yeah.
It hasn't even, it's not even like it's
Gonna be on
at the
DVD
cinema.
soon.
Yeah, exactly. I've watched it 4 times on Sky. I can't help it. Got to talk about it now. I think the first year of film, I don't really spoil it. After the first year, by the way, Han Solo is dead. Like, I'm just putting that out there, he's dead. Like, that got ruined for me though before things went on, right? I was doing a live stream before I went cinema. I didn't even mention that I was going to the cinema.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, 3 different people had different slight variations of the name, and it was Han Solo died, Han Solo dead, Han Solo killed. And I was like that. I hate you. I knew it was coming. And then when that scene when he like and he had the thing, lightsaber, I was like, oh yeah, that's when it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I would have much rather him got shot by a stormtrooper,
Yeah.
but they don't hit anything.
No.
They're like Lukaku's first touch. Just go on there, United. Count.
Although his first touch has been alright, to be fair.
yeah,
He's done alright today.
It's a shame he hasn't managed to get himself, for him, he
Yeah.
hasn't managed to get himself on the score sheet. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's played well.
He's played well, yeah. He got an assist. Oh, did he get
Oh,
an
it's
assist?
a
No.
decent little run.
Oh.
And he's fluffed it.
Oh, come on.
That's a poor clearance. To,
Is that Callum Chambers again? No. Okay.
Kearney.
Yo.
Check on the UFF channel. I updated the thumbnail. Do you want the same updated on yours?
No, I'm gonna stick on my own one on mine. Is that all right, mate?
All right, cool.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Just to keep it consistent with the ones I do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cheers, my man. Chris Smalling and Phil Jones. Can we capture the first 10 to the goal review though, please, mate?
Yeah, well,
like we always do.
You tell me what to capture and I capture it.
Thank you, mate.
Usual process.
Top man. Top 4. I actually can't believe it, really. I know it's not cemented yet, and it's there's weeks to go, but
we're in the top 4.
From where we were on my birthday, when we got absolutely bodied by Liverpool, we were all them points behind. I never could imagine.
United was 11-1 to get top 4 by the end of the season.
I know, it's crazy. The odds, like, I just didn't think we would catch the other teams.
Yeah.
Or Sessegnon's in here.
Nothing to aim for.
I didn't expect Chelsea to bottle the way they did.
Well, we still got to see what happens on.
Well, I kind of look at it this way. I looked at when City had the little crumble. I put a lot of that down to the pressure that Liverpool put on them.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason that Chelsea and more so Arsenal have crumbled is because suddenly there's a team coming from behind, and this is where if Arsenal lose today and Wolves win. And Wolves keep winning. There's that pressure again. It's, can you handle it? Can you take that pressure?
Well, to be fair, Chelsea didn't really have a striker.
Yeah,
true. And again, now they see what Chelsea do. Now they've got, and that's what I've said before. Higuain's a top class striker. If they still have loads of those games where they can't hit a barn door with a banjo, then it's nothing to do with the striker quality. It's to do with the way the team's playing and the collective. But he did look good last weekend.
He did look good.
I hate to say it, but it's Huddersfield.
But his movement and the one-touch finish for the first one especially.
Don't have it, De Gea. Don't have it, man. Don't have it, De Gea. Don't have it, De Gea. Don't have it, man. Don't have it. Don't have it, De Gea.
But no, but Mitrovic has stuck it on him twice now.
Yeah, it's twice.
He's saying, I'll see you after. Mitrovic is going to see him after. De Gea don't want none of that, to be fair.
Nah, to be fair,
you don't want none of that.
Mitrovic
might be one of them big guys, but when it actually comes down to it...
Nah, you would do him.
No, I'm not saying it, but maybe. He's a big guy.
I mean, he's Serbian, so...
What does that matter?
Nah, he's
in one of my first full contact fights, I fought a guy from that part of the world. Man got banged out in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but the Serbian will be probably stronger than a Spanish.
That's so racist.
Wow. The views shared are not of me. They're not of me. I don't.
I mean, I'm cool. I didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
I don't know who did. It was some guy that...
The views shared by that random voice.
It was some guy that works for the building we rent. He just walked past and said it random. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, the views shared by that voice, of that voice alone, are not of me.
It was like that growing up in school in London. It was always like this group of people were stronger than it was like there's a hierarchy of who would win fights. It works its way down. And I was always like, I'm gonna disprove this. I'm gonna disprove it, but didn't always work. I remember there's one kid at my school. I think his name was Jez. He was a Chinese kid, and everyone thought, oh, he's Chinese, he's small, nothing.
Yeah.
I remember he banged out this guy in a fight.
Yeah.
And it was like, ah!
Well, that's the thing with school, isn't it? There's a lot of those where people came with reputations, and then you had the quiet kid, and someone just picked the wrong day, and the quiet kid ended up, do you know what I mean, handling themselves properly.
Yeah, it's true.
Especially as a lot of the kids at school with reputations, it was because they beat somebody up 8 years ago.
Like
they beat someone up when they were in primary school, and the reputation stuck with them. And it was like, yeah, cool. And I found a lot of the big kids at school, especially, you hit them once, and they actually, like, because they're bullies, they just cry.
Yeah.
I'm not, by the way, I'm not condoning hitting anybody at any point ever in life. Don't ever do it.
Unless you're in a ring and it's licensed.
Yeah.
And you're getting paid for it.
Yeah, and you're getting paid for it. Or your life's in danger.
Go on, Lukaku, bully him.
Touch, let him down.
Yeah, there we go.
For me, that Callum Chambers has been man of the match for me. Callum Chambers. He's been everywhere. He's been man of the match. I'm going to give him... When we do the player ratings, he's getting a 9.5. He's the best thing about Arsenal season. This the only shining light.
He's played well, Dillon.
I love it. That's great. That's great. It's the best thing you've ever said.
He's played well, Dillon. He's had a decent game.
I think they've all played well.
All been
I think
well.
Luke Shaw's been a little bit poor second half, but
Of all the players, he's probably been the worst one.
Yeah, but even
he's still
had a
been,
decent
yeah,
game.
still had a decent game. Now we are in the
How many saves does De Gea have to make? I just remember one from the free kick.
he's made 3 saves, but they weren't like world-class saves. They weren't even anything special. They're just regular routine saves. A couple he made and he's held.
Yeah, I think
that was it. Yeah,
just remember one from the free kick where he's held.
Free kick. You got a couple of shots from Callum Chambers as well, but he held. Other than that, nothing really.
Well, I'd like to see that first Mitrovic incident from the first half, because I'm pretty sure that should have been a penalty. If VAR looks at that, I reckon it
could have been given. It could have been given.
It was a bit. They were both holding.
They were both holding. That's
I don't really have an issue so much with that. It's more if you look at all crosses into the box today from both sides. That's my issue with that rule of like when you punish one person. If you start looking at all of, I think they scrap the rule and make it a foul. It should be no holds barred.
Yeah.
When it comes in that way, but that way equal. That's the only way to make it equal.
Elbows and all.
Well, no, in terms of holding, the only way to make it equal is to make it legal when crosses are coming into the box, because then it's about whoever's the strongest.
Yeah.
If it's like we're going to punish you, when you miss it, it then becomes unfair, because you might concede 3 penalties in a game for pulling, goes up the other end and you don't get it. It makes it unfair. If it's just completely legal, no one loses out then.
Yep.
I don't know about that though.
It's a wild. It's wild. There we go.
Well
played. Well played. Comfortable.
Let me know when we're ready to switch into
comfortable.
Cheers, my man. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch into goal review in a few moments. Remember the number 0203 606 0315. We're going to go through review this game, talk a little bit about the world-class Paul Pogba, one of the goals of the season from Anthony Martial, and another comfortable performance for Man United. 6 wins on the bounce for Ollie. We're going to jump into those in a moment. These boys are going to get themselves ready for your viewpoints and opinions. And yeah, I'm excited because top 4 is well and truly back on. Absolutely buzzing about that. Just bear with us a few moments. We'll be switching over.
Ah, dear. Arsenal fans, how's the view from the 6th? That's all I'm saying.
You know what, we're used to it.
The view from the 6th.
And you know what, the thing is, at the beginning of the season, and I've said it all the way along, is that 5th or 6th is a realistic, that's a realistic aim for us. I just want to be closer to the top 4 and make it actually competitive.
Yeah.
Where last season we was miles away, and then that will show that it was a gradual progress.
Yeah.
But top 4, 4th is our absolute ceiling. If we get there, then I'll be, I think we've done better than we really should.
Yeah, I get that. And obviously your game's kicking off in about 40 minutes time. Pogba here giving his shirt away. Hopefully he gives that little kid. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah, she asked for it as well. Can I have his shirt?
Nice touch.
Do you know what I hate seeing sometimes when players do that? It's like grown-ass men trying to stick it on a kid. It's like, oh, what's wrong with you, man? Like, so, mate, we're good to go, yeah?
Yes, sir. And
get the camera on me.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Yes, sir. You can start talking, Terry.
Cool. So thank you for tuning in to FanPark Live. As always, this is goal review. Fulham 0, Manchester United 3, courtesy of another brace from the world-class and the magnificent Paul Pogba, and an absolute wonder goal. A wonder goal today from Anthony Martial that will win goal of the month, no doubt about it. It is one of the goals of the season from a Man United point of view. It was absolutely majestic. United jumped back into a top 4 position, and who can believe that? After the position they were in when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in, started managing the club on this interim basis in the middle of December, 11 or so points away from the top 4 position, to now be in front of Chelsea, in front of Arsenal, unbeaten in 11 games. 6 away victories on the bounce, the first time in over a decade. Things at Manchester United are absolutely wonderful right now. We're going to hear from you and take your calls in about 10 minutes time once we finish goal review. But I'm going to jump straight into talking to Chris here, Man United fan in the house. Just give me a sense of how proud you are of this team, not just for today's performance, but overall for getting themselves back into this top 4 race.
Oh, very proud. As I said, I was very... Looking at it now, we're in the top 4, we're sitting in the top 4, and I'm very proud of the team and the way that they've handled the situation, come through, obviously, the situation with the old manager, and have adapted well to Ollie's philosophy, and have gone back to basics and are playing the United way of playing attacking football. And you can see it now. You can see players such as Martial and Pogba in this game. You can see other players that didn't play, like Rashford, Lingard, how they're excelling. All of our attacking players, our main attacking players, are excelling, playing under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in this way. So I'm very proud of the way that we've gone about our business, especially today. A very professional performance, and you can say it was like a routine 3-0 win against Fulham, and we've done what we needed to do, and it sets us up nicely for the PSG game. Absolutely.
And Devo, look, you're an Arsenal fan, so worst possible result for you today, a comfortable Man United performances with great goals, pushing themselves further in front of you. Your game, of course, kicks off at 3 p.m. today. When you look at the individual performance today, though, you start off by talking about Paul Pogba, another 2 goals, another leader-like performance from him. What's made this possible? In your opinion, what's the difference between Pogba now and 7 weeks ago?
I think it comes down to one word, really: confidence. And he has the confidence of his manager. And Solskjaer has come out and said, Paul Pogba, because remember they worked together previously when Solskjaer was a youth coach
he did,
at the club. And he knows Pogba, he knows his strengths, he knows what to say to him, he knows how to get the best out of him, and you're seeing that on the pitch. And I think he's given him confidence to go out and express himself on the football pitch, and you're starting to see the best of Paul Pogba. He's doing things. There's a little touch he had in the second half where he turned away from a defender. He's doing things like that, and spraying the ball and making forward runs and getting involved in the game, whereas before it just wasn't happening for him. You know, his head was down if something didn't work, because he knew what was coming. Mourinho was going to get onto him. But in this system under Solskjaer, if he tries something, Solskjaer's going to say, yeah, well done. You're trying to be creative. Well done. That's what I want to see. Beforehand, you're not going to get that. You're like, no, I want you to do this. You have to do this. If you try and be creative, he's going to slag you off. And that is massive for a player like Pogba. Creative players like to be, let off the leash. Let me do what I'm here to do. Let me express myself.
If you look at what that has yielded, in 10 games, he's played 10 games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's scored 8 goals, created 5 assists, plus, of course, numerous performances where he's dominated midfields and great passing, keeping the flow of the game going. So, and then visually on the eye, I think he's been spectacular in moments as well. A lot of wasted time for Paul Pogba under Jose Mourinho, no doubt about that. But do you feel, Chris, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to take so much credit here? Because you had, Paul Ince as an example, standout example, saying what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in and achieved is just anyone could have done it. It was simply, I'll be nice to Pogba, let him play free attacking football, and anybody could have yield these results. Do you think that's disrespectful to Ole?
Very, very disrespectful, because I hate it when people say, all he needs to do is just come and make the players happy and just tell them to go and play, and that's that. It's not as simple as that. If it was as simple as that, I could have been hired. You could have been hired. We all could have been hired. Any United fan could have been hired if that was the case. But you've got to give Ole so much credit in terms of his man management. So he's learned from the best, but his man management of the players and getting the best out of them, challenging them as well. Like, I heard that he's challenged Martial in terms of his goal scoring, in terms of his shooting, and you can see Martial score today. He challenged Marcus Rashford in terms of his finishing, and in his types of finishing that he goes for, in terms of trying to get his composure. Obviously Rashford's got a bit some way to go, but he's challenged them, and he's challenging the players in the right way, in a positive way, to get the most out of them. He's doing the same thing with Pogba. He knows Pogba's strengths. He's spoken about Pogba's strengths. Even Pogba himself knows his strengths and his weaknesses, but Ole's playing to his strengths, and that's why you're seeing Pogba flourish the way he is.
Absolutely, and I think you put out there positive negatives, as you call them. Positive criticism is probably a better word for it, where you need these people to improve, but you challenge them, you show them that you have faith in them. And what he's done with Rashford, didn't even get on the pitch today. He's been rested, but the same thing, Jose Mourinho stated you can't make a player a better finisher. Ole's come in and said, of course you can. Now, maybe you can't in terms of physically, but if you make someone believe in themselves, mentally it can make them better. They can become more composed in front of goal. And I think you've seen that improvement. And I agree with you, Chris. I think it's very disingenuous not to come out and say, I mean, a lot of people have played down Ole's contribution by saying, well, Mickey Phelan's taking the coaching sessions. A lot of the tactical decisions are coming from people like Michael Carrick, but that's part and parcel of being a manager. You delegate responsibilities and you hone it all together. And you see a lot of shows now on Netflix and stuff that give you an insight into, say, American football. you've got the head coach who orchestrates it, but you have the offensive coaches, you have the defensive guys, all the different coordinators, special team kicking. They all play a part, and they coach the individual sectors, and then it all comes together under the tutelage of the manager. And I think it demonstrates like a lack of understanding from people in some regards, but equally fear. There is a huge amount of fear around rivals that the sleeping giant that is Manchester United is now awaking again. And nobody outside of Manchester United wants that to happen, because it's a scary thought to know they may be back to the table. And when you look at players like Pogba, Rashford, Martial's goal today, we'll talk about that in a second. It has to be, we haven't done this. First time in a decade we've won 6 away games on the bounce. First time in 8 years that we've had a manager and player win Player of the Month at the same time. It's only the 3rd time a Man United player has won Player of the Month in 5.5 years.
Really?
Which is a madness.
Crazy.
It demonstrates the improvement, and of course, massive tests to come. Massive tests to come. But when we've played Spurs and Arsenal in this run of 11 games, we've come up trumps there as well. And we won't win all of our next few games against Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea, City, Liverpool. I expect us to maybe lose 1 or 2 of them. But there is still, for me, been great improvement, both tactically, formation-wise, and then players' confidence, which is key.
That was something else I was going to say about people saying about Solskjaer, that he hasn't improved the team tactically. It's just he's got the players playing, you know, they're happy, so they're playing. But I disagree with that. I think if you look at the Tottenham game especially, he tactically outclassed Pochettino, because he knew Pochettino uses the wide width and they get forward, so he exposed those areas behind the wing backs. He did the same at the Emirates. He tactically outclassed Emery. So he has shown different sides. That obviously this PSG game and these games moving forward, you're going to see, is he the real deal? Because if you come through this relatively unscathed, then no one's going to be able to say anything.
Of course. And I think also what Solskjaer has done is he's brought a togetherness, because you're getting players like Lukaku and Sanchez and other players that are not starting games, but you're not hearing any murmurings. You see, when Jose was in charge, you would always hear stories about players being unhappy, this and that, but you're not hearing it as much. Granted, obviously, it's like an extended honeymoon period. Or can you say we're past the honeymoon period and this is actually Man United
some
now?
people have some really long honeymoons.
Do you know what? Rant said this the other day, and he's right. He said it's 10 games. It's now 11. That's like that's over a quarter of a season.
Exactly.
And they always say, don't look at the Premier League table until after 10 games. Well, we've played 11 games in all competitions. I think you can really start to judge. And when sometimes teams have these bounces after new managers come in, it's 3 or 4 games, and then it settles itself. In this case, it's settled and the cream's risen to the top. And there hasn't been a better team in England in the last 7 weeks than Manchester United, statistically and maybe aesthetically on the eye as well. They've won the most, conceded the less, scored the most. You can't deny that. But now, as you say, these big tests are there, and this is I think this is the final hurdle that Ollie needs to jump to secure the job. Just quickly before we jump into the phone calls, Anthony Martial's goal today. Picks the ball up 5-6 yards inside of his own half. Is this one of those goals that you think is going to be replayed forever and ever from a Man United point of view? Or are a lot of people throwing stuff at me on Twitter and just saying, well, it's against Fulham, they're one of the worst teams defensively?
I hate that argument.
I hate that because if Messi scored that goal, if Messi's playing some, I don't know, Spanish farmers, and he scores a goal like that, are you going to be saying, oh, he only scored against Spanish farmers? No, you're going to say, oh, it's Messi, what a goal. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just think that argument of, oh, it's only Fulham is so disrespectful.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's so disrespectful because these are Premier League defenders. Do you know what I mean? They're Premier League defenders. Okay, yeah, Fulham might not have the best defensive record. But these are still Premier League defenders, and I believe one of them is an international. You know, Tim Ream is an international for America. So he's beaten these players at pace, and he's had the composure to stay on his feet and pick a finish, and it was a quality finish as well. That was a quality goal. You can't take anything away from that.
It's like when Henry was scoring goals against Blackburn and the likes of that.
And Carragher.
True. People weren't saying, "Oh, it's only them. It's only them." And people were just admiring the player.
Martial do that before against Liverpool. So it's not the first time he's done it.
Exactly. It's not a one-off.
It adds to his show reel. Absolutely. It was a phenomenal goal. We want to get your viewpoints. Thank you very much for capturing that, Abs. We're going to jump straight into phone calls from you all. We want to know what you're saying, how you're thinking and feeling. They're about to come through now. There we go. Hello and welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
All right, man. It's Pav. How you look then? You all good?
Good.
Yes, Pav, very good indeed. Man United there, comfortable victory over Fulham, 3-0 victors. Wonderful from Pogba and Martial. Give us your thoughts.
Oh, do you know what? Pogba, it's like watching the Pogba from Juve where he was ripping teams apart in the Serie A. And the amount of criticism he's had in the last few months, he's literally made someone like Graham Souness shut his mouth. Legit, I fucking hate that guy so much.
Don't hold back.
Game after game, and now he's literally shut that guy's mouth. But yeah, I'm happy. The only reason, like one of the reasons why I rang is like I wanted to get your thoughts on the vision for our club for the next few years, because obviously Jones signed a contract yesterday, whether it was the day before. So I'm kind of looking at it that Smalling's to sign a contract, Jones should sign a contract. Like, I don't know where the vision is from our owners, our board, on where the club's going, because if we're still keeping some of these players, does it mean that we're not going to sign any centre-backs? Because I don't want to see in the future, like, our team struggling against the top sides, if you know what I mean. So I'm kind of like, I'm happy that we're getting results, but I'm kind of also thinking about the future where are the club going to go to the next level on bringing us to where we should be? Are they going to take the next step? So it's kind of like I'm kind of in two kind of minds at the minute. It's like I'm kind of thinking that if we do keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as our manager, is he going to just be a pushover where what the board says goes? Is he going to actually make a stand to say this is what I want, or is he just going to go along with what Ed Woodward is going to say? This is what you can have. This and that. It's like
I know. Listen, Pav. I get Pav. I get your points, Chris. What do you make of that?
In terms of getting players like Smalling and Jones to sign contracts, it's just about keeping your commodities of value and just trying to have a bit more value to them. Because if other clubs knew that we wanted to get rid of those players, then we're going to lose a lot of money and we're not going to be able to sell them for as much as we can get. But obviously, if we sign up to contracts and keep those commodities have some value for those players, then obviously when it comes to moving them on and selling them on, we should get a lot more money and recoup a lot more money than we would have got normally.
That's what some people are saying, but the other, it's like 50-50. It's like, are they keeping them to say that that's what you've got?
No, I don't think that.
Pav, I don't think that's the case.
The other thing as well also is that you got to remember Sir Alex Ferguson's there, so it's not a case of where it's just little old Ollie against the board. He's got Sir Alex Ferguson there on his side because Sir Alex Ferguson has been involved more at the club. So if it comes to him wanting to get players, he's obviously going to have Fergie there to give him advice, and obviously Fergie's there, and Fergie holds a lot of weight at the club, so he's not going to be by himself.
Pav, think about it this way. I, like you, probably would like to see Darmian, Ashley Young, Valencia, Rojo, Smalling and Jones. Those 6, if they all left this summer, I would be happy. I would not lose sleep. However, who are we bringing in to replace them all? If we don't tie these people down to contracts and they leave for free, as an example, or we just get rid of them, and Ed Woodward, who has fouled multiple times to land targets, we could find ourselves in a very dangerous position. So I think I'm with the Man United fans that are angry in terms of I want better than Phil Jones, I want better than Rojo, better than Young, but you have to be mindful that it's very unlikely that we're going to get rid of all 6 of those guys in one summer. That doesn't even include selling any midfielders or attackers. We're not getting rid of 8, 9, 10 players in one summer. I don't even think there is the time to do that many deals with the way it works. So you have to realise it's going to take 2 or 3 years to flush all the deadwood out and to replace them all. Yeah,
and the players that you do get rid of, you want to get money for. You don't want to get rid of them for free if you can get a transfer fee, because then you can reinvest that money on new signings. And you're not out of pocket as well. Obviously, that's more for the owners than it is the fans.
Can I also ask you guys one more question? Would you either get rid of Sanchez or Lukaku and replace them with 2 wingers? Because obviously Martial can play as a forward striker, and so can Rashford. Yeah. So ideally, you could obviously have that width if you got rid of one of them two, would you ideally prefer that?
Yep, 100%. I see where you're coming from. I would get rid of them both because one, it will free up a lot of money because they're on hefty wages, and two, I just think that they're just not good enough for their own individual ways. I think Sanchez is on a decline, and I just think Lukaku's just not at the level that we want with where we're actually trying to get to in terms of being back at the top table.
Yeah.
So I agree with you that I would get rid of both.
Yeah, that would be that's basically that's what I was wanted to
There
know.
we go.
But,
Matt, Pav, I
thank you for having me on
yeah, not a
anyway.
problem, Pav. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much, my man. Thank you.
See you later.
Some good points there. A lot of Man United fans angry, but let's just jump into some more phone calls. Excited. Hello and welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Mohammed, you right?
Mohammed.
Yes.
Man
Yes.
like Mo. Listen, let me say this to you first, brother. 11 games unbeaten, 10 wins from 11. Pogba on fire, Martial on fire. Ollie's the man. I mean,
top 4.
How buzzing are you? From the man who phoned up and said he wanted to shoot the Glazers. You wanted to kill the Glazers. You wanted to kill Mourinho. Where's your mind at now, man like Mo?
My mind's somewhere else, man. Absolutely, I'm buzzing. Listen, I never mean it like that. You know, when you're angry, you say something you don't mean. That's why I apologize. I'm not really gonna do things like that, man.
Mate, don't apologise. That got me so many views. I love you. You're part of the reason I made my 80k, brother. Don't ever say sorry for that. Never.
Listen, I'm the reason your FanPark you became famous. You know that. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen. Do you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna tell a few things I want to tell you about today's game. I know we beat Fulham. Yeah. A lot of things concern me about this team, even though we won. Yeah. Matic. I know a lot of people talk. I've got a WhatsApp group now. A lot of people are saying as well, yeah. When you got mobile midfielders passing the ball around them, yeah, I've seen him against Leicester, yeah. The reason I didn't ring up last week because I was busy, yeah. Against Leicester, he was awful. He was like a bit shaky. You know what he does, and he's a bit too slow. Like I know he's gonna start right now, but in the summer, next season, we're gonna struggle with him in the side. I mean, I'm not saying get rid of him, but don't put him in the 11 next season. You know what I mean? He's too slow. I mean, Louis for 100% Chelsea has perfectly summed up. You're only going to get one good season out of him, and that's it.
But I think he's been very.
He was good.
I think he's been good today.
Yeah,
good under Ollie.
Very good against Leicester.
Go do yourself a favour. Don't listen to us on this. Go and read an article and you have to find it on the internet. Danny Higginbottom, who I think is one of the best pundits out there, and he spoke about the importance of Matic in recent weeks under Ollie. And I get your point. Maybe we do need somebody more mobile, but he needs to be able to do all the things that Matic is good at as well. So I understand your point, but equally, there aren't many players at the highest level that are like him. And I'm going to trust Ollie on this if we keep him, but I do get that. In terms of the
no, I'm saying in the summer, not now.
I get that, but I will look at that. In terms of everything else that's going on, obviously Phil Jones has got a new deal, so is Ashley Young. Are you one of these fans that is angry about that, or do you see the sense and the business-mindedness to do that?
You know what? You know my thoughts on the board, innit? You know, it's expected, innit, Terry? You see, Herrera's not got a contract, and I don't know if he's going to be there next season. You know, the situation, I've already, you know, my thoughts on, you know what, Ollie needs to sit down with them, you know, but this cannot continue anymore, you know. You need to, you know, I told you about the game against Burnley. I told you you need more players, didn't I? I know we played Fulham, but in terms of next season, if you want to build them, challenge City and Liverpool, you got to get better players around them. And you know what? There's one player that I really, really like and it impressed me a lot. Yeah,
It's just got the FanPark Live logo, not my face.
Yeah, it should be now. But why is it restarting the stream?
Because you ended the stream. So that's what I'm saying, to start a new one. There we go. I think we're back. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Not sure what happened there. I think Wirecast or whatever it was crashed. I do appreciate you all staying with us. Do us a massive favour though, so we can get our viewership back up. Hit that like button, hit that share button to do us a bit of a favour as well. Ab, stop capturing that other thing as well, because I have to edit that one out anyway. But there we go. We are back. We just need to get the overlays back, but we'll do that. There we go. A lot of people say, yeah, I think Arsenal and Chelsea fans definitely hacked it to drop it. They couldn't take it. The salt was there.
Salty people.
Man phoned up Bill Gates and was like, get out, make it crash, bro. Make it crash.
Messages out. It's getting a bit too much in it.
I'll take them sour lemons out their mouths.
Is he an Arsenal fan or
something? You know what it was? When Mo's that happy, I just can't take it. I like angry mum. Used to angry mum.
That's what it comes down to. There we go. But you can give us a call, 0203 606 0315. Martial, there's a comment here saying Martial's goal was insane. Hasn't done a run like that in a long time. Yeah, that was great to see that come back. It really, really was. There we go. But phone call. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. Capture it, please, mate. What's your name? Hello.
Hello, my name is Dominic.
Hello, Dominic. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm alright. You?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. That sounds like half hope. It does sound a bit like half hope. Are you capturing this, mate?
What?
Cheers. Anyway, go on. You carry on, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, I support my United.
Good man, good man. What did you make of their performance today?
This team is is something else because we're just getting better and better under Ole really than the other ex-manager really. And Pogba today he was absolutely been brilliant today. Scoring that first goal, which fair enough, but the keeper from Fulham should have saved that because it was literally at his near post. But fair enough to Pogba to strike. It was good strike.
Yeah, absolutely, it really was. And do you think Man United will make the top four now?
Yeah, especially Ole definitely gave the players a lot of confidence and gave us a lot of confidence to support, and especially singing like you're hearing all of us just started to sing now because of the confidence Ole gave the club really.
Absolutely, mate. Really appreciate your call. Thank you very much, Dominic. Thank you. Stephen here on the super chat. We'll just do this while we get the overlays and camera angles sorted. It says, too early to call Pogba world class. I'd judge him after bigger tests against better opposition.
I don't agree with that. I think the thing is, yes, he's got world class talent. Everyone is aware of that. Everyone, even those who hate Pogba, will have to say he's got world class talent. And then what you want to see from that is consistency. Do it consistently. He's done it for 11 games straight.
Yeah.
Now, so he's got the consistency. When is the cut-off point? When do you say yes, he's world class and yes, he's not? Do you know what I mean? I don't think anyone can sit there and look at Pogba and not say he's world class.
I think what you're going to get with this Paul Pogba situation is what we have seen with Harry Kane. What we have seen with
Harry Kane, it took like 3 years for
my
me
point,
to admit.
But my point is this:
because I don't like Tottenham.
But that's what comes into it. Yeah. What you will find with people. Pogba will get it, Rashford's going to get it, and it isn't just a Man United specific thing. Man United fans will do it to Liverpool players, Arsenal will do it to Spurs players, and then if someone isn't liked or universally loved, it will happen. I get a lot of guys, Have Hope's a great example. If anyone's English, he will find every reason in his life to put down an English player who's playing in the Premier League. And it's a case of what they will do with Pogba is, if he does it against the top sides, it'll be, well, let's see what he does next season. They will continue to move those goalposts. Yeah. They'll forget the fact that he dominated a World Cup final. They'll forget the fact that at 25, he has won 5 league titles, 4 or 5 domestic cups, European titles. The man's got on 13 goals in all competitions this year. It doesn't matter what Pogba does. There is always going to be this body of football fans, these haters that will just, whatever it may be, from he hasn't done it enough to his haircuts, to his dancing, to whatever it may be, that they're gonna hunt him down and put him down. But anyone out there that knows their football, and the great thing with Pogba is, it's not just aesthetically pleasing what he does. He's now delivering, he's winning trophies, he's winning titles, scoring goals, and that's what it's all about. We'd love to take your calls on that. We'll keep this section moving now. Is Paul Pogba world class, or Is he being overhyped by Man United fans in this 11-game run? I'd love to hear from Juve fans if they want to come on and speak about him. French supporters as well. Come on and give us your says on Paul Pogba. But I think he's world class. I mean, Chris, what do you think as a Man United fan?
I 100% think he's world class. I didn't think he was before. I was waiting for him to show more, but yeah, I do think he's world class now. I think he's, as you said, under Ollie, he's doing it on a consistent basis now. That's 11 games straight. He's performed well. So yeah, I'd say without a doubt he is world class. You can see that he shows world class ability in every match that he plays.
I do think sometimes people are looking for too much from Paul Pogba in terms of, I think he gets this kind of, people kind of compare him to, say, a Patrick Vieira because they got a similar build.
Yeah.
But he is not a Patrick Vieira type player. He's not going to break down attacks and then spring in. You know, once you put him on the ball, then you'll see Paul Pogba.
But equally, Patrick Vieira wasn't scoring this many goals. He wasn't creating many chances.
But yeah, Vieira was one. He would control a game in terms of he would break down attacks and he'll set the team on their way. Pogba's not going to chase a man down for 30 yards and win a slide tackle, and then that's not his game. So I don't think it's fair to say he's not dominating the midfield, because that's not his job.
We do this in football, but if we look at another sport as an example, you can't compare. You can say who's the bigger legend, who's the greater player, but you can't compare a running back to a quarterback.
I was gonna say that,
and this is the thing. Although, so midfielders, yes, who's the best midfielder? Now you can make an argument for which current midfielder is the best, maybe the best at their role in midfield. Does it make him the best out there? But when you compare Pogba against a Kante, Pogba against a Fernandinho, a Vieira of past, they're different types of midfielders. Now, I'm happy for you to say that Kante is a better defensive midfielder than Pogba is attacking midfielder. I'll just challenge you on that and get you to clarify. But to sit there and say, oh, he's not as good as Kante, but my question is, at what? Because at both their jobs, they're leading stars, and a team sport needs you both to be at the top of your game for it to work. And if you go back to the example of American football, Brady the other day, I thought he was brilliant in one of the best NFL games I've ever watched, because I love the defensive side of that sport. But the guy whose name eludes me, the running back with the beard, who was getting onto everything, without him moving so well, catching so well, and finding the positions, Brady's throws become not irrelevant, but he needs these running backs to get on the end of them. It's a team sport. And I think people have got to start to learn that. And Pogba right now, he's the spearhead of Man United's attack. He's the crowning jewel. And he's starting to really demonstrate why he was worth £90 million and why he is the biggest footballing star on the planet now in terms of the commercial side of things. And he's delivering it on the pitch. Why do you think, though, Devo, he gets so much hate? What is it that makes people hate Paul Pogba?
You know what? I think a lot of it is to do with the media and their perception of him. And when you read the same thing over and over again, a lot of people, it sticks. I think that's part of the reason. I think it's also rival fans, because secretly deep down they know how good he is, and therefore they hate him because of that. I think it's a whole mixture of things. I think Graham Souness obviously doesn't help.
I wonder what he's gonna say today.
You know what the thing is, and Graham Souness has gone overboard on him, but I think surely sooner or later he's gonna sit there and say, you know what, I was wrong. He has to.
The interesting thing with Graham Souness is that he comes from an old school mentality where I think they forget. You know what happens in life? And I got kids. You got kids. I
got kids as well.
You got kids. You'll see, when you got kids, right? My son does things, and I have to tell him off, and I have to tell him not to, and I say this is right, this is wrong. If I then think back and I'm honest, I was like, yeah, I did those things too.
Yeah.
You often forget. I talk to young people at work that are in their early 20s that behave in certain ways, and I'm like, you really can't do this. This is not professional. But I was doing the same thing. I think Graham Souness and his era of players knew they were getting up to things, but he also knows what distracts you away from football. And I think he looks at someone like Pogba and has these really high standards and thinks, you should be here, but I don't think you haven't quite achieved it yet. I think maybe Graham Souness is focused on the wrong aspects of Pogba's life or what have held him back. I think more of it was on how he was made to feel, how he was nurtured, how he was man-managed as an example. And I think the dancing and the social media presence and his business interests, I don't think they've played any part at all in distracting Paul Pogba away from his football. I think that aspect of it Graham Souness has got wrong. But I think he just has high standards. And I understand where Souness is coming from, but I think he has gone too militant. I disagree that Graham Souness is a racist.
I think there are racial undertones.
Do you think he's aware? Is it conscious?
He might not be aware of it.
But that's what I'm saying about. I don't think he looks at Paul Pogba and thinks, because you're a black French guy, I'm going to hate on you. Because I see him praise other black.
No, I I think that, you know, it comes to, I think there's a thing where some people will look at Blackbeard and think this is the lane that you're supposed to stay in, and you know, you should be thankful to be in this position. So when you're being exuberant and you're showing off and you're dancing and all this stuff, it's like you're out of your lane. You know, you're not supposed to be expressing yourself like that. You're just,
I get some people have that thought and feeling. I think with Graham Souness, if Pogba was performing like we've seen in the last 11 games consistently, the other stuff wouldn't come up. The dancing, I think some people have this mindset that they don't mind the business interest and the dancing and the haircuts as long as you're performing on the pitch. But if they believe you're under par, they feel like you're doing all those other things, but your performances on the pitch don't warrant you behaving in that way. Now, I disagree with that, but I have seen that towards other players. But I do think there is, with some fans outside of Graham Souness, I think there is that element of, like, some people just dislike him because he's a very young and very successful black man, and of course you're going to get those undertones. But a lot of the stuff fans throw out there about him not being world class and not being good enough, I just find it bitter. I just find that so many fans bitter with Paul Pogba because he plays for Man United. Yeah. If he was still at Juve, they would be loving him. But it's because he's at a rival club.
Yeah. And another thing as well, he gets compared to Kevin De Bruyne a lot as well. Kevin De Bruyne has Fernandinho. Pogba, he has Matic now, but I can't think, you can't say Matic and Fernandinho are the same. But I often wonder if you swap the two sides over and De Bruyne went into that United side under Mourinho and so on and so forth, would we see the same Kevin De Bruyne?
I don't think so.
Well, look,
if you put Pogba in that City side.
Of course, but look at it now that we're playing attacking football. 8 goals, 5 assists in 10 games. Yeah. It's phenomenal. I mean, there's no other word to describe it other than phenomenal, what he is delivering. And a comment here from somebody says, Peter Crouch never got any stick for his robot dancing. The issues with Pogba have never made sense to me. And I take that point. And again, when I'm talking about some everyday fan, some people, no doubt, have racial undertones to their criticism of Paul Pogba. What I'm speaking about here, when it comes to someone like me, I'll give you my example on this. My expectations of Paul Pogba are 5 times, 10 times as high as they are for and Herrera as an example. Why? Because I think he's a much better football player. My expectations of Rashford and Martial are higher than of Jesse Lingard's because I think they're better football players. So there comes a time when, if you're looking at a player with the talent of Paul Pogba and you don't feel that he is fulfilling that potential, you may become frustrated with his outside interests. I personally don't care about the outside interests, but I understand why people focus on them. And the Peter Crouch thing is this: when he was doing all those robot dances, he was scoring for England, he was doing well in the Premier League, he was actually probably outperforming what people thought Paul Pogba would ever, whatever they thought Peter Crouch would ever sort of the levels that they would ever reach. Look what Wayne Rooney achieved in his career. But he consistently gets criticised, and even now, for not reaching the potential that we all expected him to get to. However, they do need to move away from focusing on Pogba's emojis and his haircuts and his dancing, because clearly that hasn't been a distraction, because he's still doing that now. It was more about the man management and then how he handled being in that environment. And I think that was my issue. And like I said before, clean slate for these players, give them the opportunity to move on. And yeah, people like Graham Souness, there might be a part of them now that realise actually it wasn't those things that were holding him back. And I did hear Souness praise his assist the other day and say how wonderful and how brilliant it was, and it was world class. And they're just looking for these top players to reach their full potential. I just don't think Graham Souness has gone about it in the right way. And it's made him look a certain way. Because I don't necessarily think he has an issue with the guy, because that's just my personal opinion. And maybe there might be some unconscious bias in that. But if it's unconscious, he's not doing it on purpose, which is hard to have you're ghost chasing. Do you get what I mean? If I don't know I'm doing something, I'm not even consciously thinking about it. But it is a difficult one. But we want to take some calls on this. Paul Pogba, is he world class? Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Daniel.
Hello, Daniel. Who do you support, mate?
It's the same guy that came into your studio. I support Chelsea.
Oh, hello, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good, bro.
Feel the pressure.
We're talking about Paul Pogba here. Like, some people are claiming that it's too early to call him world class. Where do you sit as a Chelsea fan on this debate?
Wow. I mean, I've been a big fan of Paul Pogba for a long time. I thought he was great at Juventus, and he even showed his quality, obviously, at the World Cup. So no doubt he is world class. He's one of the best midfielders in the world. I think it's difficult for fans to appreciate how good he is, partly because he plays for a rival club, and again, with all the media stigma around him, they kind of use that as an excuse to say, oh, he's not consistent this, or he's not producing. But again, when you're in a system that doesn't suit your style of play, you haven't got midfielders who complement how you play football, it's difficult for you to really get the praise that you deserve, because even when he performs good and United lose, he doesn't really get the credit he deserves. So again, I think he's certainly one of the best midfielders in the world, and there's no debate about him being world class. That's a non-debate.
No, I agree with you on that. I do, and I think that
Yep.
the attacking system that Ollie has now placed at Man United has got the best out of him. 8 goals and 5 assists in 10 games. Not to mention brilliant performances in the majority of them is out. I haven't seen a Man United midfielder do that in that body of games. I can't remember a Man United midfield player, even when Paul Scholes was at his goal scoring best, doing it to that kind of level with quality performances as well. In terms of where this projects Man United, then now just jumped in front of your boys Chelsea. Has your mind changed at all about Man United pipping you to a top 4 place, or do you still think with the introduction of Higuain, Chelsea will have enough?
So when I did call onto the show, I think maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think the question was, do I fear United potentially going above us? And I said no at the time, and even now, certainly it is a bit more fear in that case. I think United looked very good. Again, I want to see how United would look after, let's say, Oli takes a loss, but he failed to even take a loss at this point. I mean, they even bounced back after the draw against Burnley, so they're looking very impressive. They certainly would be favourites to finish top 4, and I guess as a Chelsea fan, I'm kind of looking at the Europa League as more of a way to guarantee that we get top 4, to guarantee that we get Champions League football, because again, United have been looking very good, and still got to go to Old Trafford, so it's going to be difficult for us. And yeah, they're certainly a team to be fair, especially the way that they're playing, and obviously the form of the players like Pogba, Rashford, and so on and so forth. So
I'm going to leave that Europa League for us, buddy. We need that.
Yeah. So would you? So like, I don't want to put words in your mouth. So you do have a genuine fear now that Man United under Oli are the real deal, and could force themselves back into that top 4 and cement it?
I'm wary. I wouldn't say the word fear, but I'm wary of United.
Yeah, just for the sake of the title of this, we're going to put fear in, but that's just to do that. In terms of other aspects of today's game, we saw a phenomenal goal by Anthony Martial. What's your opinion on the quality of that goal?
I mean, I'm lucky I got a chance to see that just as I tuned into the game, and I mean, that was amazing. I mean, people look at the power and like the way that he's able to brush past the players, but I'm looking at his technique and his touch. I mean, to keep the ball that close to you while dribbling at that speed, I mean, I thought it was amazing. And then obviously the finish was Henry-esque. So again, that's something that I expect from Martial. Again, he's a quality player, and it's kind of a shame that he didn't have a manager like Oli before, because he would have been at the World Cup if he had. He was able to play this kind of football when before the World Cup. So again, another player that we're seeing step up, not just because he wasn't playing for the manager. No, he suits the system that he's playing now. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
No, I understand that. I understand that completely. And how do you think Manchester United will fare in the coming weeks with, of course, Paris Saint-Germain? Next weekend we come to Stamford Bridge in the FA Cup. Do you think they have a good chance of beating these teams, or will that be one step too far for Oli and his boys?
I mean, as a United fan, you should be very confident. I think United fans around the world should be very confident going into these games. Yeah, there's going to be a big test. You probably will take some of your first losses, obviously under Oli. But then again, I mean, you can go into these games and feel very confident. Just on the 2 games that you mentioned, PSG, with Neymar out, I think Verratti will be fit, so that's a big plus for them. But with Neymar out, again, that ties maybe like just slightly in PSG's favour. I think that's going to be a big miss for them not having Neymar, because as good as Mbappe is and as much problems as they'll probably give Luke Shaw on that right-hand side, Neymar is really the catalyst in terms of bringing it forward and really creating chances and making things happen. So it's got a really close tie compared to what it was a few months ago. And as for Chelsea, I mean, I would love to be in studio for that one, because United have been looking scary, and I think they got a really good play style to give us issues on the counter-attack. But at Stamford Bridge, I do still see us having enough to beat them. But again, we'll see. United should definitely be confident going into those games.
Look, I think with Stamford Bridge away, what I would say about that is I've been very fortunate in my life to witness, both via being in the stadium and on television, some of the greatest Manchester United teams of my club's history. And even our greatest teams have struggled consistently away at Stamford Bridge. Whether it's been treble-winning sides, Champions League-winning Man United teams, away at Chelsea is a game that I never have any expectations in winning. And I think in the last 20 years, maybe 3 or 4 victories at your ground, which is an awful record from our point of view and phenomenal from a Chelsea perspective. So, of course, there's confidence streaming through this team. But I think as long as United don't get tanked in that games, I think Man United fans will be like, you know, it's kind of what we expect when you go to Stamford Bridge. I never speak to a United fan that's confident when they go into that ground, if they're being really honest. But it will be an interesting game. I think is it next Monday? So it's Monday night football,
Monday.
which will be an interesting one. Look, Danny, really appreciate your time and your phone call today, mate.
I just want to shout out my boy Devo in studio. I love the stuff that you do on the Football Banter show. And keep up, bro. And hopefully I can see you one day in studio so I can thank you.
Look forward to it, man. Thank you.
Take care, Dan. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye. It's amazing, isn't it, how a period of a week, someone's viewpoint can change. Like, he literally phoned up after the Burnley game, was like, you ain't making top 4, you ain't beating PSG, you're done, you're dead. And again, there's reactions. This is, a lot of people don't like it, but I love that kind of reactions from fans because it changes. But then you bounce back and you win 2 on the bounce, and you put Fulham to the sword the way they do. There we go. Let's do one more call, bro.
Nothing at the moment.
No more calls. Okay, well, look, from our point of view, you know, we don't do that anymore.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, let me just do one. Callum Chambers, 9.5.
There we go.
Come home, Callum. We need you.
Let's start doing that. Listen, appreciate everybody tuning in. We will be back tomorrow for the Man City Chelsea game, and I won't wear one, but I will be a City fan tomorrow. There's no doubt. Because one, it helps keep. Are you going? Abs is going to the game. There we go. From my point of view, like, I want City to win. One, we've got to stop these Scousers from winning the league. Has to happen. And now United have actually got a dog in this fight tomorrow because it keeps us in a top 4 position for at least the next 2 weeks if City lose tomorrow. And that's very important for confidence. Thank you all for tuning in as ever. Gentlemen, appreciate you being in the studio. Take care. God bless. See you all again soon. Bye-bye.